that's a step in the right direction.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Today is the big day. It's a new month. I think this is now our third end of the month kind of movie recap where we discuss all the big films that have released in the month that we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about the month of July, and we're pretty much reviewing, reacting, ranking all of the videos or all of the movies. So we have 10 big titles to talk about today. And thankfully, Kyle added an extra one into the mix. So that'll be fun to discuss his interesting title at the very end.
I wish I hadn't.
Oh, yeah. So there's definitely going to be a lot of good and bad here. But before we get started, I want to thank my guests for joining me here today. As always, the lovely Kyle Corwith and our friend and co-host Gally Ardo. How we doing, boys?
Phenomenal.
Rocking and rolling, man. Let's do this. Oh, man. A lot to get through.
There's a lot of bad titles here, man. This is a rough mix. I'm excited because Luke, I showed him the list earlier today, and he has some very contrarian views about some of these titles I can't stand, and he loves them. And it's the other way around. So this
love is a strong word.
You know what I'm talking about, Luke. One we haven't discussed yet. And Kyle, I hope you've seen this too, because I'd love to hear your opinion as well. But we'll get to that. Before we do, let me explain to everybody a little bit how this works. So here we are. This is our tier ranking system. And I ended up adding another space here because I think, the 60 to 70 percentile, it deserves to be its own rank here. You know what I mean? We were being pretty cruel. We had 0 to 60, or was it? Yeah, 0 to 60%. We had that as like unwatchable. And I mean, like 50 to 60%, I wouldn't say it's that terrible. I mean, there's some great 50s, there's some great early 60% that deserve to be, kind of accounted for respectfully. So we've changed things up a little bit here. It's not entirely different, but I thought we'd add these. But the way it is, we have 10 titles here, and it's pretty simple. We're all going to be talking about these titles and going over, some of our favorite aspects of them and trying to judge them. And by the end of our decision, we're going to kind of put them here based on our views we have. Some of us will agree, some of us will disagree, and that'll be factored into it. So why don't we just get right into it and get started with probably the worst title in this entire lineup. You know what title that is, boys?
Jurassic World.
Very good. Very good, Luke. I know both you and me agree with this one. Jurassic World Rebirth, everybody, this movie, nobody has been talking about this. This has been dead in the water ever since it released, except it's making tons of money, which unfortunately it doesn't surprise me. And it just shows you that people will go out and see anything at this point because, this film, there's just infinitely so many issues, but just entertainment wise, it shouldn't be that complicated. We're just watching, you come to watch dinosaurs screw things up and tear up the lives of several characters we're supposed to love and admire. First off, none of these characters are admirable or interesting. And then second off, we don't get like any dinosaurs. What's special about this story is, this is, it's Rebirth, Jurassic World Rebirth. This is supposed to be the spawn of a new trilogy and supposed to spawn new interest and fuel to the fire that is this franchise. And it brings us an interesting concept. So Scarlett Johansson, she's sort of like a mercenary, and she has a team of other mercenaries alongside Mahershala Ali and some other misfits. And they're tasked with going to this island where they experiment on dinosaurs and they make crazy, weird, morph, disgusting evolutions. And they're all sort of like misfits. They're rejects. They're supposed to be weird, and nobody wants to see them. They did that for spectacle purposes, right? Make some weird combinations and some weird morphs of dinosaurs that you respect and love. And, this is a big idea here. We can go to a place where there's all of these interesting, crazy dinosaurs that are so odd and disgusting that, that sounds pretty exciting, right? Well, no, you barely get any. I think most of the film, you don't really see that many dinosaurs. You maybe see like 3 or 4 different variations. And then they're just so bland. They really aren't much different than the dinosaurs, And if you've seen the trailer, all the big dinosaurs are showed in the trailer that they have in the whole film. And nevertheless, the story really isn't that complicated. Scarlett Johansson, she goes to this island alongside the mercenaries. They're sent there by this evil pharmacist dude who's trying to make a lot of money on taking the blood.
He's a pharmacist at Walgreens?
Yeah, he's like a Walgreens pharmacist. That's right. Well, I don't know exactly.
He's a CEO.
He's a CEO? Okay. Well, he's interested in like a pharmaceutical drug, right? He wants to use the blood of these dinosaurs for some drug that helps with heart or something like that. And he's given them a lot of money. They go on down there, and yeah, they're supposed to just gather three blood samples. Three blood samples from three different like mutated dinosaurs, and then they're supposed to head back. Everything
Not mutated though, just different kinds of dinosaurs.
Right.
It seems very subjective the way that they say, oh, you got to get one from a pterodactyl. Oh, you got to get one from a whatever fucking.
So they weren't
genetically. No,
they weren't mutated. I didn't remember them looking mutated, but I thought that was sort of like the whole point of
mutated.
Like, why you'd go to the island.
It's like trying to bring the mammoths back to life, kind of. If it makes sense, I don't know the word for it. Like using their DNA to create something big. I don't know.
You mean cloning?
Cloning, so, yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's what they were kind of doing, I think, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
with different DNA.
Yeah, they were splicing shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then made retarded dinosaurs. Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. They're not that retarded. They weren't retarded enough. I wanted to see some crazy stuff.
The big one at the end is he looks like a retarded xenomorph.
That's one
giant.
We got
xenomorph.
one. The whole movie is the whole point of watching these stupid.
One was too much, dude. One was too much.
You thought that was overwhelming?
I thought it was absolutely stupid. That's
okay.
That fucking thing. It was obnoxious. I thought it was something out of a different movie, a lesser movie, and I hated it.
Okay.
I don't hate the movie, but I hated that.
You didn't hate the movie?
I didn't hate. This is what's interesting is you hate that movie. You hate Rebirth. Yeah. Luke, I don't know how you feel about it, so this will be interesting.
I was bored. I was very bored.
Tell Kyle what you did while we were in the theater.
I literally said I was going to the bathroom, but I literally just took laps around the lobby, just like thinking, trying to pass time, and it didn't work. So I just went back to the theater. I was like,
That's
"Come
perfect.
on!" Like it. Like I didn't hate it. It's just it didn't fulfill me with a Jurassic.
You were
Park
pretty
movie.
furious when we were watching it. You were fuming. You and me both were fuming.
In all fairness, I had a long day, and it was already tired. And
you're cutting way too much slack, bro. I was looking at you, and you were pissed, man. You were looking at me, and you were pissed. Genuinely, I've never seen you like that. He's being nice.
Fair.
All right,
look,
Kyle,
when
so
I
what
was
did you
in the
respect
theater,
about it?
when I was in the theater watching it, I wasn't doing this. Thankfully, I wasn't.
Jackson was.
Like, there are many movies that I've seen in the past few years where I've done that. Indiana Jones' Dial of Dysentery is one of them, or Disaster.
I bet.
Well, I won't spoil it. There's a movie on this list that I did that
no,
with.
Please don't say. I know what it is. It's gonna be the one
you were gonna say Superman.
I hope he says Superman.
I heard him.
Better not be Eddington.
Luke's correct.
I heard him say
thank goodness.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay, good.
So that'll be an interesting part, but we'll get to that, audience. So with Rebirth, I don't hate the film. It is, man, the last movie, and we went over this in detail on my Jurassic franchise retrospective that's currently available on my channel. Dominion is the worst Jurassic movie, hands down. It is so bad. It's an embarrassment to that franchise.
Yeah, it doesn't really get lower than that.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources, money, hundreds of millions of dollars. Waste of creative energy, just everybody's time. Everybody who was involved in that. Bringing back the OG cast. Just an embarrassment. So with Rebirth, it's not as bad as that. So to sit down and watch it, there are aspects to it that made me roll my eyes, but it was just, it's like after you go to the hospital for some disease or, injury or something. But then, that was Dominion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you go home and just have a cold or, the sniffles or maybe a sore throat that happens for a day or two, that was Rebirth. You can handle it.
That was a good analogy. I understand that.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I feel like like with this, I mean, it kind of we'll sort of get into it like with Marvel. Like people are saying like Fantastic Four, I mean, they are kissing this film's ass hard just because we've gotten so much garbage that everyone's standards are so low. And I feel like, and I know you, Kyle, I know you judge each piece of work independently. And I think it's fair to judge something, in a series of films and judge it against those. But I know you also judge it independently. And if I judge this independently, totally forget about Dominion. Oh gosh, I was just utterly disgusted. And I try to, thankfully, I've zapped Dominion out of my mind because that is, like you say, unwatchable.
You can't retain that movie. I would be surprised if anyone. I was actually surprised how much we talked about it. Yeah, I had rewatched it, dear God, for the franchise retrospective, but I didn't ask how long ago did everyone on this panel watch it. They were recalling things, and
wow,
that's surprising because that movie
anything?
is really hard to retain because it's so forgettable.
Yeah. Well, I think something that was painful about this movie for me against Dominion was I wasn't interested in a single one of these new characters, especially the family. When they introduced the family, the whole trio of them were just utterly insufferable, especially the boyfriend. I mean,
I hated that guy. Yeah.
Gosh, and we get tons of it, tons and tons of it. And I just, a film should not try to a film shouldn't try to unsettle you. And that's what it did. Not in a good way. I mean, I want to get unsettled by horrifying dinosaurs, lurching behind me as I comfortably sit in my theater chair. But no, I was just completely thrown off by the dialogue. It was very Gen Z. And I think if they got rid of the family, that may have helped. But, Scarlett Johansson, she was not a powerful lead at all. I don't think she really didn't add much. There was no character to her. She was just person A. And then you had, what's that guy's name? The dude from Wicked. He's also in this. Is it John Mulaney? I don't remember his name. He's like the scientist, and he has a beard. He's a younger dude. He's a good looking dude. And he tries to be funny so many times, and it never lands. I thought that was the funniest thing. When Luke and I were in the theater, he purposely, they had a few moments where he was trying to be funny. You remember that, Luke? And he would say a joke. They built it up, and then not a single soul in the entire theater chuckled.
Yeah, I was mentioning to you, I was like, imagine that actor going to a theater to watch the movie and nobody's laughing at his jokes. That. It'd be so painful.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. That was the best part. So
you're talking about the Loomis guy with the glasses?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah, the other protagonist, the counterpart to ScarJo. What was weird, dude? I saw this article that he talked about he was gay and all that, and I had no idea he was gay. I didn't care, but because he's parading around in publications, he's saying it, and now it's like, what? Why? What do people who are straight talk about how they're straight?
Yeah, it didn't change anything. Yeah, I mean,
no, but it colored the not terribly, but it's just unnecessary. How I went into the movie and I was like, oh, this guy's really really gay,
but he's acting like a straight dude.
Well, he's playing a straight dude in the movie, but it's unnecessary. Why? What's the point? Why?
Jonathan Bailey.
No.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
just be in movies, dude. Celebrate the movie, not who you're doing things with.
Yep. Yes, sir. Well, let's take a look at this. So I don't want to talk about Jurassic World too long because there's no point. This is a worn out horse. But what are you guys thinking? Instantly unwatchable for me. I put it at a 10% maybe. That's me.
I put it at 0%. Only because I've never been a fan of the Jurassic World movies. I've only been a fan of the first 3 Jurassic Park movies, and I never got into the new modern ones. I just thought it was boring. I've already seen it before. It was better when it was classic. Now it's just kind of So yeah, I don't care for it at all. Actually,
it's the last movie you should be bored watching. That's for sure. What about you, Kyle? What's your diagnosis?
I don't say mediocre at 50%, 60. I would call that fair, but that is the percentage I would put it at. Yeah.
Okay. Well, sounds like unwatchable it is then.
Really?
Pretty close. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, we're both zeros.
We don't nudge it a little bit. Okay.
No way. No
you
way.
Guys
There's no grace. Me. Sorry, no grace here, Kyle. No grace here. Before we get to the next movie. before we get to hey, that happens to me too. I really hope that doesn't happen with this next film we're talking about because I'm very excited for this and nobody's talking about it. So looking forward to that. Before we do though, you think everybody's talking about it?
No, but I'm interested to get into this with you.
Here we go. Man, I was hoping we would be on the same side, Kyle. All right, let's talk to the chat though. Thank you all for joining us here today. We appreciate you guys. Horror with Nads. What's up, nerds? Hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night. That'll be fun. We're going to rank early 2000s horror films. So we just watched The Grudge today. And yeah, be sure to catch us on Nadia's channel tomorrow night. Oh, Proctophile's here. What's up, man? Sin's Corner. Hey, Sin. I'm going to miss most of this stream. Hope it's a good one for you. Thanks. Yeah, so far it's not too bad. We're about to get into Eddington, though, and I'm afraid it's about to get shaky. Canyon, Happy Gilmore, #1 movie. Oh man, what's up, Tristan? Good seeing you, man. I hope you stay along while we talk about Happy Gilmore because this is going to be an interesting conversation as well, man. Oh, Cass is here. Hey, Cass, thanks for joining us. Just with Jared, what's up, man? What's up, fellas? Gonna have to catch the re-upload. Still working on my Fantastic Four video. Fantastic Four is better than Soups. Both are still mediocre. Literally, man. Yes. Fantastic Four is definitely better than Superman. I'll completely agree with you. And I agree. They're both mediocre. Proctophile. Never really took a close look at her gun. Why does it look like a toy?
He's right.
Yeah.
If you pull up the poster again, it does look like it looks like
it's like a water gun.
A water
gun.
Yeah.
Cool. My gosh. Yeah. Okay. Look, this is a great image right here. This is supposed to be an oddity island. And look, it's a normal T-Rex on the island. This was your opportunity, guys. Give us some weird, wacky T-Rex hybrid. Nope. We just get a normal T-Rex. Nice job. Oh, Proctophile's calling you out. What's up, Luke? How's it going, man?
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
How are you?
Proctophile misses you, Luke.
Wants
to see you. Luke said not to waste my money. Good. I hope he's talking. I hope she's talking about Jurassic World because I know she wanted to see that. Let's see. Proctophile. They really could have had a lot of fun with mutant dinosaurs. Imagine a T-Rex with a spiny tail and the head of a Triceratops. That'd be cool. Yeah, man. There's so much potential. Make the weirdest stuff happen. I'm totally in. Yes. Come on, Kyle. Come on. We could get normal dinosaur movies every year for the rest of our lives. It's never going to stop. Especially because, I mean, if this film can make a butt ton of money, then there's no hope that they're going to spin this in a better direction. Because they could just keep dishing this out every time.
Oh, no, you may get what you want because the next movie may push the mutated dinosaurs even further.
You think?
I think they could do that, yeah.
I guess I wasn't expecting that.
They might dare to do that, yeah.
All right. Well, you're definitely not a fan of that, so that's cool. Yeah, Proctophile. Hell, even a T-Rex with regular size arms. Yeah, I guess that was sort of what they did in the first one. It was like a weird hybrid. You know what I'm talking about? Wasn't there like a big gray one that was pretty much a T-Rex and it had normal sized arms?
Are you talking about the first movie?
No, Jurassic World.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Indominus Rex?
Yeah, it's not mutated. It is a spliced version of different dinosaurs. Yada yada. It looks normal, but it's a new kind. Essentially, okay. Yeah. I mean, you could say that for the retarded, one in Rebirth, but it's just a retarded dinosaur.
Wait, you're talking about the last one?
Yeah, Rebirth.
A big testicle.
The T-Rex mutated, ridiculous. Yeah, one. Yeah.
I really don't know what they were thinking with that. That wasn't even a dinosaur. Yeah.
Correct. That's the problem with it. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get right into the next one. I'm excited. So we have that as unwatchable. Now we're going to talk about another big movie of the year, Eddington by Ari Aster. This guy makes some trippy movies. After watching this, I was instantly interested in watching Beau is Afraid. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to have to try it out. I think I remember seeing like Gord King really liked that one. So if he's here, he'll have to tell us about it. But, this is a film that I never imagined I'd be interested in. Watching the trailers, seeing this, Ari Aster takes us back to early 2020, the wretched pandemic year. And I immediately think back to when Francis Ford Coppola made Apocalypse Now. It wasn't really all that long after the Vietnam War. And I remember I listened to I think it was like Army of Darkness, the documentary, and he was catching a lot of flack from people because it was a concept and a subject that was just too fresh, and nobody wanted to see a film that talked about that or made commentary on that. And here we are with Eddington. It's only 5 years ago that we had to deal with that terrible year. And, this film, it digs deep into it. And that was the last thing I wanted to see because I thought they were going to make this very angled, especially towards one side that was definitely not in the majority during that time. Very silent, and they were silenced. And but yeah, things turned out pretty different. The story is quite interesting. Takes place in a small town of Eddington, New Mexico. And Pedro Pascal, he is in this. This is another one of his headliner films. He's great in it. I hate to break it to everyone. He does a great job. And he's the mayor. He's Mayor Garcia, Ted Garcia. And Joaquin Phoenix, he's the sheriff, Joe Cross. We see a lot of this film through his perspective. It's most of the time we're following his footsteps. And he is fed up with the leadership because, we can't necessarily blame Ted Garcia for this because we all of us in our different lives can look at this film and see how this is applied to everywhere we lived. So I don't directly blame Ted Garcia for this, but Joe Cross was just sick of the whole environment of 2020 and how people acted around each other, masked Nazis, people, being hypocritical, saying they want 6 feet distance, saying they'll mask up, but secretly, they have big parties. They do things in the background. They, when they protest, they're actually not wearing masks and they're getting in people's faces, interrupting the 6 feet of distance that they were bitching about 5 minutes ago. And this film shows that, and it shows the hypocrisy on both sides, but it was a surprisingly honest film that was a very intriguing commentary on that. And Joe Cross, he's a man that, initially in the very beginning, about the first half of the film, he's pretty even-tempered. And he's going through a tough time. He's having a really tough time at home with his wife who has mental issues. And he's dealt a bad hand in life. And as the pandemic continues, everyone just seems to get more riled up. And the power shift is pretty incredible to watch, to just see how quickly things go out of hand with the riots, with how people are treating each other with the mandates and such. And people are just putting each other in boxes and they're getting grouped up, and it's like heavy civil unrest, as we've all seen before. And he decides that he wants to run against Ted Garcia. That is pretty much a limited portion of this whole film, watching Joaquin Phoenix run this campaign, because about halfway through the film, he makes one really bad decision, and it leads to another really bad decision, which leads to another really bad decision. And then things shift. The first half of the film is pretty much a bleak drama, and it's quickly shifted into a horrifying thriller. So, I mean, the question is, are you interested in checking this film out or not? Because it's a hard one to watch. It's not a time we want to be taken back to, but if you want an honest portrayal of kind of, looking at both sides of the field from I would consider a somewhat non-biased perspective, then I think you should check it out. So what do you think, Kyle? Because I don't think Luke has seen Eddington.
You haven't, Luke?
No, I give it a haven't seen but positive.
Oh, okay.
Nice. All right, Kyle, let's hear it.
I agree with half of what you're saying, because half of the movie is portraying things that actually happened. But when the moment happens where he decides to take an action that
we could probably
is very out of character and is, that's up to you, man.
I want people to watch it, so let's not spoil. Let's try to avoid spoilers.
All right. Well, he takes a very extreme action, not just one, multiple ones, and I think the movie became it jumped the shark in a way where it was very grounded in the first part of the movie, and then went to places of just, now it's a movie, now it's crazy, now we're doing, it went too far, I think. And it betrayed its own sensibility and its direction that it was going. Because, I think this movie is hugely inspired by the Coen brothers, Fargo, etc., especially Fargo. Joaquin Phoenix is great in the movie. I think Pascal is not that. He's fine, but he's not a standout. You can think of many actors that could play that role, and
That's fair.
dude, like you think Colin Farrell.
He doesn't do much in this.
Like just a random actor I'm pulling out of my hat. Colin Farrell could have played that role. Maybe even more impression, bigger, much better impression than he did. Pascal. And the reason, by the way, for people that want to know how he's able to appear in so many movies this year, is because he's not in them that much. He's not in Materialist very much. He's not in this movie very much. He's only in about 4 or 5 scenes. Yeah. Yeah, his character is a big presence, but it's off screen in that way. So that's
like that with Gladiator as well. That's a good point.
I forgot he was in that. So, yeah, going back to 2020, seeing the moments of people being told to wear a mask, yada yada. I dealt with being accosted during 2020. I didn't put on a fucking mask. No one's gonna tell me what I am gonna put on my body. No one's gonna fucking tell me that. And I put my foot down, and I didn't adhere to any of those rules. I didn't, trespass on people's property and say, "You're going to let me in. You don't want me here? I'll take my business somewhere else." That was my decision. Okay. When some employee at first, like I would go to the grocery store up in Chicago when I used to be there during 2020. I spoke to the person at the door and I said, "Hey, can I talk to your manager real quick?" And they went and they got them. Guy came over to me and I said, "Hey, just going in with a handheld cart and I want to grab a few things. This is cool. I don't want to wear a mask." And I even wrote up a sheet that said, "I'm not going to hold you accountable, blah, blah, blah. If something happens, I get sick or blah, blah, blah. And I signed it. Here you go."
Oh my gosh.
And they let me in on, I think, every occasion after I just was reasonable about it. And for the stores that kicked me out, and there were some that were very aggressive about it.
That's the problem. That's the problem, was just the agitation. Terrible.
Have you heard of Jewel Osco? It's a grocery store. It's a big chain up in the Midwest. And there was a woman. I was going in the store. This is actually my hometown that I was shopping at, the Jewel there. And me and my wife were just leaving, and this woman, as we were leaving, was shouting at me to put on a mask. And she's telling me how I'm putting everyone at risk and yada yada yada. And I said, "Well, ma'am, other people's health is not my responsibility."
Yeah.
You can't force people to take accountability for other people's health. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense. The thing I said at the very beginning in March, yeah, because you've heard of Trader Joe's is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a place I shopped regularly, and when I saw those shelves empty because of panic buying, I made a video on IG on a story, and I said, "Oh, this bullshit going on. This is fucking bullshit." I right at the camera, and just right at the start of it, I thought it was bullshit, and I saw people wearing surgical masks, and I said right off the bat, I didn't need a doctor to tell me this. I said, they're all wearing these masks that are not designed to stop aerosolized particles. Did you see these slits? All that stuff is going to come through. You know what they're made for is they are there to stop spitting saliva out. That's as far as it goes. But aerosolized particles, it's going to go through like a chain link, like sand or mosquitoes through a chain link fence. That's what's going to happen. You have to have a special mask called Papper masks. You see how I'm recalling a bunch of shit that I've read and I learned, during 2020. Exactly. Okay, so anyway, I didn't adhere to those rules, and seeing Eddington brought back some of those memories, and I liked some of it, and I think it was being satirical and sending up a lot of the events that did happen on both sides, because Joaquin Phoenix's character Joe Cross is more toward like my side of things, where he's an individual liberty, more of a libertarian kind of sensibility, and Pascal is adhere to the mandates, but it's made obvious and clear behind closed doors that he really doesn't give a shit about any of this. He's only doing it for political reasons. He's doing it for, brownie points, so to speak, for, to impress the governor, etc. And he wants to be mayor and show that he's virtuous and wants, the best for his people, yada, yada. Yeah. And there were a lot of people doing that, and our own governor in Illinois was, oh my God.
That's why I was so shocked to see this. Like, I'm watching this on TV. This is in an A24 film. What I'm seeing here, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, so it sends up both sides. However, once those extreme choices happen, something changes, and this is where I didn't understand why you liked the film in totality. Because what ends up happening, dude, through all those choices that Phoenix makes in that character, it's actually, I think the film is saying, because where that character ends up, I'm being vague, audience, on purpose, so I apologize if that's frustrating. I just don't want to spoil it for you. The way the character ends up is not a good place. Let's just say that. He's alive, but he's in not a good place. Okay. I think the message that I got from the film is that those kinds of people that are trying to do right by themselves will suffer consequences worse than the other side. In fact, they're actually being destructive to the other side. Because what ends up happening to Pascal's character and his son, right?
Yeah.
So it's an extreme example of that, but and maybe I'm misinterpreting it. It's possible, but this was the message that I got, is the libertarian-esque minded people are selfish and they're not considering other people. I mean, you see what Joe Cross does, Joaquin Phoenix's character, when he gets the machine gun on the main street, and that's not a spoiler. I mean, you see it in the trailer. But what he ends up doing with that inadvertently, and who he, accidentally shoots.
Yeah.
See what I mean? I think right there is an example of the director saying, hey, you people not wearing masks or yada, 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 not considering others, look at the destruction that you wrought, right? Because you remember the bullshit that people were saying, in fact, they were actually wishing for people's death who didn't get the vaccine, who weren't wearing masks. Just sickening people, the sickening, disturbed people in the head. I never for 1 second wished harm on anyone else. I never told, but and at the same time, I didn't tell anyone to put on a mask. I didn't tell them to take off a mask.
Yeah, just mind your own business.
At most, I would say, those don't work, right? It's that, right? It's that. I'm not telling anyone what to do, but I can give them information. So they decide what to do from there.
So to give my point on what you said, because I think that's a fair assessment. I say in my video, I think when that happens, I don't think it's his upbringing or his moral views or his virtue that sends him into that craze, that makes him do those things. I think, what spikes that mostly is what happens with his wife. And so I think
that Practophile said something 100%. The ending was bizarre. Well, I'm going to borrow a word from that comment. That whole line plot of the wife, Emma Stone, is bizarre to me.
It's crazy.
She is behaving. This is not much of a spoiler. She has a trauma that is very vague with molestation, and we don't know. It's discussed that it happened in the past, but we don't know who did it. It's just debated or speculated of who it was, and there are rumors, blah blah blah. At one point, Joe Cross says in a speech who did it, right? But Emma Stone is behaving as if she had experienced a trauma very recently. And I was confused by that.
That's true. That's fair.
I was confused by that acting choice.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the more interesting segments into the story, and it took everything off the rails a little bit. You know what I mean? It was a slight deviation from the main conflict, which was Joaquin versus Pedro the whole time. But yeah, I do think that it wasn't his motives and it wasn't his interest in the ideas he had that inevitably led up to the terrible choices he made. And obviously those were awful and they were terrible, but I think those were just bred by the terrible circumstance he was in his own life. He had nothing good going for him, and everything, all of the hell that he has been experiencing just kind of piled up into one big room and it just exploded. I think that's what happened. And then let me say something real quick. Yeah. So then the second part is, you were talking about how they set up the people that thought that way to be sort of evil and that they're all selfish, right? Which I think was more so kind of the opposite of the story. I think that because another example that I mentioned in my video is that young man, I don't remember his name, it's like Brian or something like that. And he is a great guinea pig to show the effects of the social contagion from social media. I mean, you see him at first, he's a nice kid. He has a great loving family. He is proud of who he is. And he starts hearing and seeing all the bullshit on social media, about.
And it starts off, he starts getting into BLM protests, blah, 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 because he just wants to get laid, dude. That's really where it starts. He likes this chick and he just wants to impress her.
Well, you see, everybody treated him differently because he wasn't thinking that initially. So he buys into it. He embraces that. And then he starts to lose everybody. And he loses himself at the very end. He's putting down himself for things he can't even control. He was blaming himself for what color he was. And he
his parents call him, "What are you, retarded?
Yeah,
You're Caucasian."
We saw him just completely disavow who he was as a person by the end, about 70% of the way through the movie. And at first he was a nice kid and he didn't have, there wasn't anything going on in his life that would doubt who he is as a person, but that led him down that path. And at the end, he was happy, and he obviously changed, he changed his mind clearly at the very end. And I don't know, I thought that was an interesting perspective that kind of points in the direction that, he was trying to give a more balanced answer to both sides.
You thought that the kid actually was doing something good on purpose?
What do you mean?
Well, we're gonna have to spoil something with what he ends up doing.
Oh wait, are you talking about? No, I wasn't talking about that.
You're not talking about that kid?
No. Well, I'm talking about that kid. I'm talking about how at the end he has a wife, he has a family, he's happy, and he's not. He just leaves that BS. You don't remember that?
Yeah, his name
is on his phone.
Brian.
You see just little snippets of like where he is after the fact.
Yeah, he's making like selfie videos bragging about how he's got a house and a wife or whatever.
Yeah. And dude,
obviously all that's a send up on people being opportunists. That's all that kid is.
What do you mean?
He's just taking advantage of where he ended up.
Well,
he saw that everything that he was doing was failing, and then he ends up killing one of the Antifa members, and then he takes advantage of that by being that. This is the commentary that they're basically putting this kid in. They're saying he's like a Kyle Rittenhouse, but in this version he's a Kyle Rittenhouse.
All the buzzwords. Oh gosh.
Yeah, he's a Rittenhouse who just changed the tune, but he really probably doesn't mean it.
Well, I don't know. I didn't see it that way, but
dude, he turned on a dime.
I don't know. Well, we don't know if it was
so
a dime
easily swayed.
I think we have a transition in time. I don't think it's just like a week later after that happens. I mean, it's a pretty big change. When,
he's on news organizations and shows, and he's saying how he needed to act, and I just needed to do this and this, all this stuff. Which is actually, if someone were doing their journalistic job, they would have seen videos of him protesting in BLM, and it would have been a contradiction there.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I guess I could see that. I didn't digest it that way. I think that could be that could kind of be up for discussion, I think, if that's opportunist or not. I think it was more so he just changed. He had a change in heart. But maybe that's the case. I think it could be considered either way.
Wow.
But yeah.
Yeah, you're more optimistic than I am, man.
Maybe. Oh, come on. We haven't even gotten
I'm
to the
more
rest of this
pragmatic when it
movies.
comes to that.
All right.
There are a
well,
lot of people. There are a lot of people in culture that are on both sides of whatever. I don't even like saying both sides because it's way more nuanced than that. But you know what I mean. People take sides in culture that don't really mean exactly what they say, and sometimes they say things just to get attention. There was a
That's
woman
true.
who got on Piers Morgan, who said inflammatory things about what it's like to be a woman or blah blah blah, and criticizing something this and that. She was on that show, on one of the panelists on the show, and she barely said anything. And when she did, she was just neutral about it. And she even admitted at one point how I just said this and it got all this attention. Like she was admitting that she didn't actually feel as strongly as she did in the video that got her on the fucking show. You see what I mean, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think most people were in that boat during that time. That's the social contagion, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
But let's get to the ranking here. I think
We have talked
Eddington
a lot
enough.
about this movie, haven't we?
Good talk.
But I
Kyle.
wanted to,
Good
man.
talk.
I wanted to.
That's good. I've been begging to talk to somebody about this because I'm a big fan of this film, and obviously, we have different views. I'm honestly, you're gonna think I'm tripping balls.
Oh my god, you're gonna put it at perfect.
I'm putting it perfect, 90
Dude, you're
to
nuts.
100%. Whatever, I don't care. You're gonna balance it out anyway.
You know,
What's
you know
your
what's
score,
you know what's
Kyle?
unfortunate, dude, is that we don't get to have a back and forth about Materialists because I actually
know.
agree with you on that movie.
Okay, good. I thought you'd love that. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. I'm glad you saw it.
Yeah.
All right, what are you gonna? What are you saying, Kyle?
Well, Luke, you put it in positive. Haven't seen, right?
Yeah, because I like the actors and actors. So I mean,
Joaquin was amazing in this.
yeah, I
He was
love
awesome.
Joaquin Phoenix. So I mean,
Yeah. When has he ever given a bad performance? It's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
He's solid. Excuse me. I would put it at somewhere decent or bland.
Oh,
I wouldn't use
man.
it as bland. It's okay. It's decent. 70.
Okay.
That's the
Good.
best I can do.
All right, then it's gonna be
So
split down the middle with 80%.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Man, dang it, Kyle! I really wanted it to be.
Yeah, it's got to be knocked out of the perfect scale.
Oh man, you had to ruin it for me. I wanted, you know what? At the end of the year, I want us to do a stream where we break down the best ones, the perfect scores, and that was gonna be one of them. I was ready to fight for it, Kyle. And you ruined my dream today. You ruined it. Oh, it's okay. That's fine.
You invited me.
I know. This is what I get. It's all right. That's part of being real, right? All right. Well, let's get to the chat real quick because people were pretty curious about this one. Let's see. All right, Proctofile. Fair warning, brawler. Bo is afraid is 3+ hours long, and even though it's pretty solid, you really start feeling it after the second one. Jeez, it's that long. All right. Well, that's gonna probably be a pass then. That's a shame. Oh, Wilkie's here. What's up, Wilkie? Good to see you. 5 years when box office finally got his driving license. Yeah, thanks. I have had, let's see, I've had it for 20. I think I've had it for 5 years. So yeah, interesting. Let's see. Proctofile. See, you know what, Kyle? I recommended this and Proctofile watched it and he loved it. And he told me about how much he liked it.
Yeah, and he put it at amazing, not perfect.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. Thanks, Proctofile. Eddington is a funky movie. Despite being composed almost entirely of stuff I don't care for, I'd still give it a solid 8 out of 10. Oh, come on, Proctofile. You told me in private you were a big fan of this. I remember.
You didn't read the whole comment yet, huh?
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
Proctofile. Oh, that hurts. Since Corner, people let their lizard brains take control. It was scary to see how ridiculous people acted. Even scarier to see how authoritarian governments and businesses became. Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Sad. And both sides were kind of nuts. Yeah, everybody just went nuts. Everyone went nuts in their own ways, right?
I
channeled my
what
nuts.
Sin is saying they went more nuts than other people because
That's
people saying they don't want to wear a mask, they just want to be left alone. Don't want to be told what to do. That's not nuts.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think I went nuts because I was just so stressed out. So that's when I got into boxing. That was my entrance into boxing. And I'm glad I did because it's made a big difference ever since. What do you guys think of that hipster guy? Who's that? A hipster?
Oh, is he talking about
his illegitimate son?
Is he talking about Austin Butler, though?
Oh yeah. He was okay. He was barely.
No,
in it.
Austin Butler's good. However, this is another example of a character who is not fleshed out enough. Yeah, he's weird and it's on purpose, but you think he's, and this is actually an interesting connection. Austin Butler was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he's acting a little bit like Manson in this movie, like a more handsome, way more handsome version of Manson, like a cult follower or a cult leader.
That's true.
But what's weird is that you hear briefly when he has a speech at the end, he mentions something about Christ and I believe in God and all this stuff, and it's just,
he did. Well, I don't
yes.
remember that.
Yes, it's on the TV, and I'm just like, how does that line up with all the other stuff that he's been saying?
He was doing some weird stuff.
He took Emma Stone away from her husband and then knocks her up. How does that line up? That doesn't make
spoilers.
It's not that big.
Spoilers, Kyle. I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's that's the least eventful thing that happens in the movie, actually.
Yeah, literally. Proctofile loved that scene with his dad. I don't remember that. Who's dad? Oh.
You know, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about when he called him. What do you do? He was like scolding him for something. You guys mentioned it.
Well,
it's like a funny scene.
Fine. We've talked so much about this. Rachel Piercy art. Did I miss how crap Jurassic World Rebirth is? Unfortunately, you did. Rewind, Rachel, because we dog on it.
Nice.
Let's see. Oh, Rachel says decent is a good spot for it. No, Rachel. All right, T. Parker Evans. What's up, man? When it comes to Ari Aster filmography, I love Hereditary. Oh, he made Hereditary. I know that. He found Midsommar mid. I didn't know he did that one either. Was turned off by Beau is Afraid's runtime. And 2, Pedro Pascal fatigue to watch Eddington. I'll wait till streaming. Aw. Well, you know what? You have the right to do that, man. Good for you.
Well, this is what's interesting about Ari Aster is that he was in line to be known as a horror director and filmmaker, and now he's branching out to be known more than that.
Trippy.
So good on him.
Psycho. Weird stuff. All right, boys. You know what's next. I don't want to talk about this too much because we've beat this horse to death. And you know what that is? We're talking about Superman. All right, we're going to be brief about this because we've done way too many streams. Yeah, I think we should be brief. We talk about it so much. I'm sick of it. I can't talk about Superman anymore. But for people that aren't too familiar, somehow if you're not familiar with Superman, just briefly, this is a story about a young, optimistic Superman that falls under the pressures of the world as his pure heart and intentions are misunderstood in a dark world. Against the ongoing defamation from Lex Luthor, a brutal relationship with Lois, an onslaught of supervillains, Superman's conscience and abilities are put to the test. And obviously, that's sort of what happens here. He's just every avenue of what's important to him and the safety of his mind, his heart, and those around him is put in jeopardy. And he's kind of just trying to juggle all these conflicts at once. And, why don't you guys just give us your thoughts already? Because Kyle, why don't you start? Because I've been dying to know what you thought about Superman. Do you enjoy it? Was this a win for you?
This was a movie in which when I was sitting in the movie theater, it was the eye roll experience, the constant eye roll experience of just, and I had that happen with Indy 5 and a few films, not as much as that. A few films this year have done that to me. This movie, Superman 2025, as I keep calling it, just to differentiate from the other ones.
We don't want to mix up Christopher Reeve Superman with Cord Sweat Superman.
Yeah. So this movie feels like a movie out of time. What do I mean by that? It feels as though this is a movie that came out in 2003 that never got released until 2025.
Wow.
The style to it, the way that they try to make Superman more for children, and the style of it that James Gunn injects into the Superman universe feels so outdated and out of place that I just kept rolling my eyes. There's a scene where you'll have to help me out with the character Is that Mr.
Mr.
Fantastic? Terrific. Oh, Mr. Fantastic. No, the other, that's in another movie we'll be talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. Mr. Terrific. He has a fight scene where he takes out a whole bunch of guys, and James Gunn puts this punky rock and roll song, and it's just I was
Straight
just I'm
Guardians,
looking
bro.
around, yeah, and it works. That style works in Guardians. Those movies work, yes, but Superman, it doesn't. When I was watching it, I was so off put by the style, the writing of it, the monkeys in the pocket universe that are pounding on keyboards in front of
Jackson
computers.
likes that though.
Absolutely fucking ridiculous. That stuff looks like it would be in a Spy Kids movie in the early 2000 circa 2004, 2003. Stupid. I thought it was ridiculous. And you know, we go from he launched into a completely different tone and execution from what Zack Snyder did. And the thing that I keep telling people, because they automatically think, Snyder, bro, you love Snyder. No, I don't. I hate most of his movies. But the first 2/3 of Man of Steel are quite good. They are quite good. And dear God, Hans Zimmer created a masterful, new generation score and theme for Superman that has nothing to do with John Williams' score. And that's another aspect to Superman 2025 is you do not bring back that theme. That theme existed for Christopher Reeve's Superman. No one else. And I apply the same criticism to Superman Returns. Yeah, they tried to make that a sequel, but you can't. You can't do that. You recast the entire, make a new iteration.
Is Returns the one that was somewhat recent, like early 2000s?
2006.
Okay, yeah. Nobody talks about him.
Yeah, I mean, they made
Brandon something.
Brandon Routh. That movie made a lot of money, but it wasn't well received. That's the thing. Yeah,
Weird.
you can look at the box office numbers on that thing. Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
So with 2025 Superman, I thought that the movie wouldn't make as much as it has, and it's continuing to do so, which means that they're going to. All it's going to do is bolster James Gunn's DC universe. That's all it's going to do, man. And now he's talking about making, Peacemaker, and I don't give a fuck about Peacemaker. He's going to make eventually he's going to make a Wonder Woman movie, and I'm sure that'll be great and punk rocky.
He's going to end up making all these movies, bro.
Yes, and he's just going to make it in his style because it is reinforced. Audience, because I paid it. Well, I'm on A-list, so I didn't really pay a ticket technically, but I'm sure a percentage of our premium goes towards these movies. But for everyone else who doesn't, you're paying tickets for these movies. And if you see it multiple times, you are voting with your dollars. And James Gunn and the studio are getting encouragement to continue on with this style. And what's going to end up happening is the Supergirl movie is just going to be about a drunken slut.
Oh, gosh. Watch it happen, man. Watch it happen.
Who moves about with a fisheye lens and fight sequences. And, maybe she'll learn not to drink as much and not sleep around.
Make it stop, Kyle. Make it stop.
Yeah, punk rock music is going to play from the 90s and the 80s and shit, and it's going to sound terrible. That song at the end of this movie, Superman 2025, is obnoxious. Because I'm a punk rock, yes I am. Because I'm a punk rock, yes I am. Why did they allow him to do this? Because he did a trilogy for Marvel that was very successful. And he did well for that. But this does not work. The more I talk about it, the more I do not like it.
Yeah, I know. Hearing you talk about it makes me just want to push it down further. And
this is a live, what I'm doing right now, because I have not talked about this movie since I saw it. Really, I haven't.
Wow.
Maybe with Megan, but not as much as I am right now. But you're witnessing the raw occurrence of what happens when I sit down and record an impromptu view. Whether it be outside in front of the bonfire or just in front of the camera like this, and it's all, and it eventually ends up being edited. But this is what happens where I just do that stuff. One of my more successful videos was my reviews for Scream 6, and I had a similar tonality and delivery when I'm doing this, where the more I talk about it, the more I get into
you get furious, right?
Yeah, I'm getting into a vehicle of zeal about a movie, whether I like it or not. And so here we go. That's
Luke, you're getting
right, man.
I saw Practical's comment. Practical knows me so well.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry,
Luke, you love Superman 2025.
I
so let's hear you push back against what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm going to say I agree with what you guys are saying. I support what you guys are saying. I'm going to say slightly harsh, but all I'm going to say, and a lot of people, if not most, it was a fun movie. I'm gonna say that it was a fun movie for me, at least, because I'm a huge Marvel fan. I like what James Gunn did Guardians of the Galaxy. It gave me a good vibe.
Fair.
It was, it just gave me a good vibe. I mean, it was fun to watch. I really liked the flying scenes, like when he was flying solo and like the camera angle. It looks good.
Oh, shut up,
dude!
Man.
The fucking camera angles on this movie, they suck. They
the
trailer,
the worst part of the whole film was his stupid flying.
The trailer did bad. It's all about angles, man.
It did not look cool, bro. It didn't look cool.
It didn't look real anyway. The shot that you're talking about, where it's doing like a 180 or 360 around him, and it's just his arm and then his face and then the back of it, blah blah blah. Dude, that entire body is CGI. And you remember the moment where he says, "Hey, eyes up here." It's a floating head, dude.
I enjoyed how humane he was.
Oh, that was great.
Jackson,
yeah.
And I like to point out that Jackson enjoyed the monkey scene. He even told me himself.
It was okay.
I'm gonna say
it was
that.
all right. I wasn't jumping up and down.
You were though.
Did you hear me laugh? I barely laughed, man.
We're laughing a lot.
No, I did not.
I heard
I
you
laughed
laugh
maybe 3 times.
Wait, hold on a second. Luke, can you do the laugh that you say he was enjoying the movie with?
Oh yes, I can. All right. So he was like literally up on my shoulders. He was clapping.
Oh,
he was like,
yeah,
he was, he was very excited. Okay, he gave a standard laugh, like like the big,
A few things got me.
Do an impression. You can do an impression.
I can't get it.
Was that one?
It was
that one that he just did.
There's no way I was that.
This is when you know if he's really enjoying the moment. Is Jackson does his adorable like arch villain laugh.
He did though.
It's real. It's
no,
real.
it's a great laugh, dude. It's joyous and guttural and genuine. I love it.
Straight from
but
the
it
heart,
also
man.
sounds like a cartoon villain.
Yeah. You just gotta embrace it, man.
It's great.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, if you want to hear our debate, Luke and I's debate, we did debate that a few weeks ago. So if you want to hear us clash each other's heads in, that's a good one. But it was good hearing your perspective, Kyle. Thanks for sharing. Kyle, why don't you start? Where do you put Superman?
Wait, we're done talking about this movie? Okay.
Yeah, I think we got a lot to watch there.
Surprisingly,
you
I
and me
have
pretty
a few
much
thoughts
agree
about
on
it.
everything. Well, if you want to say something else, you can. But Luke and I have talked about this so much.
Well, now you changed the moment, and so we got to go into this. Okay, so I haven't. Well, certainly it's not going any higher than mediocre.
Good.
No, I at best I would put it at mediocre because so like positives about the movie. All right, yeah. Let me say that.
All right, say some nice things.
The romance between Lois and Clark is treated in a way where they're not. They actually lean into the romance of those characters in a way that's charming. And one of my favorite scenes in the movie is at the end when he saves the day, yada yada. Lois takes his hand, or they're talking to each other, pretending to be professional, like they don't know each other, and she's saying, "Yeah, do you have a moment for an interview?" He's like, "Yeah." So they slip into some big ass building, and they're kind of, prancing into it, running into it. It's just because everyone else outside kind of knows there's something going on, and immediately when they get inside that building, they embrace each other and start making out, and they float up in an empty wide space, and that was actually a beautiful moment, and I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
There's some good things, you know. I mean, it's not all dog water. There's some
Right.
great. Yeah, I completely agree. I thought the chemistry was great. I loved Lois Lane. Mr. Terrific was good, and
Yes,
he
he
did
was.
a good job with what he had.
Mhm.
Corn Sweat. I'm excited for him, but he needs to change. He needs to change. He needs to mature real quick in this next one because
I would also
can't
suggest that he
deal
needs
with
to
this.
change his name, because every time I hear his name, I just think of Corn Sweat.
Mm-hmm. Is it Corn Sweat or is it Corn Sweet?
It's Corin Sweat, but people say it enough to where it just sounds like Corn Sweat.
Corn Sweat.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I just think of a crop field in Iowa sweating, corn.
Yeah. All right, Luke. What do you
Anyway.
give it?
I gave it a decent.
Okay.
I gave it a 75.
I give it unwatchable, so that's going to be at mediocre then.
Yeah, so that's
Sorry.
it at best, and I think that's fitting because, yeah, there are some good aspects, but the bad outweighs the good. There's a lot of bad, and it's just the suit is bad. Hardcut has talked about it, a fellow channel friend of the show, and we've been on with them a few times and talked with them. They're correct about it. James Gunn is the reason that this movie doesn't work a lot of the time, and it works for a lot of people because that movie is geared towards children, and children are not going to think too much in the way that I am and you do. I'm done. I'm done talking about it.
I think one thing I want to say before we move on is, Luke knows I was such a huge hype man for Superman leading up to this. I was so excited for it. I was excited to see where James Gunn could take this, and I was really hoping that he would bring us a more heartfelt, glimpse into the past,
early on,
like a Christopher Reeves. And in the very beginning, Christopher Reeve, my bad.
Yeah.
And in the very beginning, I was pretty excited the first 20 minutes when we were just looking at the trailer stuff. I don't know why it didn't bother me, and I thought it was setting up something that was more heartwarming and heartfelt, which is what I want in Superman. The last thing I ever want to see is mediocre, juvenile comedy.
Yeah,
and that's what this was, 100%.
Yeah, and he behaved juvenile. Yes. That's the thing that was annoying about the portrayal. And there is an interview where Corin Sweat is talking about how there was a creative difference at one point at the end speech when he's talking to Luthor about who he is, his convictions, and how human he still is, and he shares those with the rest of humanity. The way that he was delivering it, James Gunn pushed him to get there. Corn Sweat said, isn't at this point in the movie where he should be more
grounded,
measured, steady in his delivery and confident? No, do it this. Okay. He's James Gunn, the director. What else are you going to do? Yeah.
Make it stop, Kyle. Make it stop.
And we can stop. You move on.
Yeah, and here we go. We are going to stop. Let's see what the chat says real quick before we move on to Happy Gilmore, which I'm very excited to talk about. Did you see Happy Gilmore?
No.
That's fine.
Just no.
Let me give you, I'll just make it real brief. Don't watch it. We'll get to that, though.
All
right. Let's see what everybody has to say real quick. So we're talking about Superman here. Let's see. Proctofile. I get that Superman is basically invincible, but as soon as you say that you can create your own universe, then nothing officially matters. Lex is now a lame, jealous god. Yeah.
And he was incontrollably, he didn't have any self-control either. All these characters, like the good guy and the bad guy, they're nuts. They don't have any measured self-control of how to, if they're
emotional,
angry, they can't hold back, when they're feeling anger. Like this is just the word that comes to mind is juvenile. This is like two kids fighting in a playground. That's not entertaining to watch.
That's the last thing you want to see with Superman. My gosh, especially Lex Luthor too, who's supposed to be the opposite of that. Let's see. Rachel Piercy art. I couldn't care less about Peacemaker, and I could do without lanterns being an F-bomb laden joke fest. Oh gosh, yeah, that's
totally agree with you, Rachel, about Peacemaker.
Proctofile. James Gunn would do something dumb like make a Batman movie where he's always in the sunlight wearing the blue suit. It's going to be retarded. I'm worried about that. Gosh, keep him away from Batman for all that is good.
This is a weird situation we're in because Matt Reeves' Batman is still in play, and yet he's going to have a parallel Batman happen apparently in a few years. Mm-hmm. It's a strange situation we're here in culture right now.
I'm so fine with a different kind of Batman. James Gunn cannot touch Batman. He cannot. I'm completely on board with him. No, not nowhere near. Cass Styles, I know she loves Superman. It was very much a hopeful movie. I don't care how fast moving it was. It was a great introduction for me for a Superman series. I'm glad you liked it, Cassie. You know, when we all saw it, and then we saw it with like 5 other people. I was in the minority, Kyle. I was so disgusted, and everyone was putting me down about it. And I was the one put down. And then 2 dorks that were super like simping over Superman, they came in and joined in, and then they were pushing me away too. So I couldn't take it. So it feels
that was a good time.
God here. Oh god, I still liked watching with everybody, but no.
Well, that's a different story.
It's a 0.
You can enjoy watching something or just being in the company with people, but at the end of the screening after the movie, then things change.
That's right.
So you were the odd one out. Everyone else enjoyed it.
I was the odd one out. It was like one other that was close, who's also named Jackson. But no, yeah, I was pretty much alone. Let's see. Oh, I like Cass that says this. I will say the CGI dog was a little too much. Yes, that's good. She still says it's a good movie.
Don't get me started with that.
I like this. So Cass says, but it was a good movie. Then we look at T. Parker Evans. Superman 2025 is not as good as Man of Steel. Oh, but I still loved it. Oh, he enjoyed it. It's a 4 out of 5.
Interesting take.
I thought he was gonna dog on it.
Nice try, Jackson.
Dang it! Why couldn't that be the contrast? Proctofile, I need to pick me up here. Rachel Pierce Art. One harsh. I gave it a 4 out of 10 because it was at least a complete movie. Wow, that is harsh. Is it complete? I don't know. I had a hard time trying to diagnose what the plot even was. Proctofile. No, the worst part of the movie was either Lex or the damn dog. I was spamming the dog kick gif from Anchorman for days afterwards. That dumb dog, man. Oh, gosh. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Proctofile says, I'll give you that. Lois was really into those romance scenes.
Yeah. Good.
And Megan is making fun of me, Kyle. Jovial is a great description for his laugh. Oh, wait.
I gotta say, Kyle, that was
I thought she said deception.
A great impersonation.
Oh, my bad. Oh, that's good.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, that sounds like me. Was that me that just laughed?
You know, mine's a little similar, dude. When I get like really, high pitched,
you get into it. Just
I sound like a villain.
Man.
I have my own villain laugh.
Just embrace it. I've heard it. Castiles. Fun fact: corn can sweat. In Ohio, it makes the humidity worse with corn. Oh, wow! So corn can actually sweat. Wow.
Correct.
Perfect. Now we know. Thanks. Rodfall. Kyle, I know these guys haven't seen All-Star Superman, but have you? Or are all cartoons too childish for you?
No to the first question. Second, no, that's not true. Not all cartoons are childish. I mean, even there was one of the last, I think it was last month, there was a Predator cartoon, essentially animated film that's meant for adults. So not everything is that's a cartoon is meant for
childish. Sure.
Yeah, child. No.
It's weird how we're getting more adult animated features. It's interesting. I'm all for it. I like animation. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. This is another film that I haven't really heard. I haven't seen like any reviews on it. I was tempted to maybe do one, but I think this is going to be mine for Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore 2. Mm-hmm. This for me, this wasn't a movie I really wanted to see. I was kind of optimistic. I was excited because I heard that this wasn't going to have any political BS in it. It was going to be written by Adam Sandler and his friend who also wrote the first one. And it just seemed like they had it all under control, that this was going to be the next home run. And, just strictly reactionary, I was very disappointed. I didn't think it was funny at all. I think my pops and I watched it together, and we said, what was it? 15% of the jokes landed for us, where we actually laughed genuinely. That's really bad. I mean, the first one was hilarious. and it just hit on all the right cylinders. And this one really missed for me. But if we're talking about story wise, it's kind of an interesting story. It plays so much off of the first one. I mean, this is really just a glimpse at a much better movie. Like, remember the last time you saw Happy Gilmore? Remember that scene? Well, we're kind of doing it again here. Just, eat it up, guys. It's, nostalgia fest. It's a look back on a better time. And they've played on that hard. So many, I can't even number how many times we just had a very identical scene just for shits and giggles. But, overall, the plot's kind of interesting. So, of course, like a lot of our modern, or a lot of the heroes of our past, they get kind of bullied in a way when they get older. And when we see them again, you have Indiana Jones, you have Luke Skywalker, and Happy Gilmore kind of goes through this too. I didn't take it as an insult what happened to him, but what does happen, I don't know why, it didn't really bother me. Maybe because things change in his life, I don't know. But his successful golfing career, you see a flashback to that. Like, you see a continuation of his young life, and he was very successful. He was doing well. He married Virginia Bennett, and he had a family, all hunky dory. And he accidentally, this is very on in the movie, and this might be a bit of a spoiler, but it's a pivotal part of the film. Virginia dies, and he accidentally kills her when he's playing golf. And it's kind of played for a laugh.
Wow, what a
they
spoiler,
pretty much,
man.
I know, I'm sorry, man. It's a pivotal moment in the film.
No, that's how
you've seen this.
That's how they did it
Yes,
back in comedies in the 90s and the early 2000s. If someone dies, they play it with dark humor and it's light. Even though somebody
and that
dies.
part was funny. I think the beginning portions of this were funny, but it really goes off the rails. So what happens here is, once that happens, of course, he swears off golfing. He killed his wife when he golfed, and he falls into depression, alcoholism, as you'd expect, kind of the new modern trope of a failed hero of ours from the past. And he loses grandma's house that, was the big trophy at the end of the first film, and he loses all of his money. And he's really in a low place. And, he was living a pretty bustling life, very happy, fruitful. And his family is now kind of in poverty. They're not living too well. And his daughter, he has a daughter in the film who's literally his real daughter, which I've seen her in other films he's been in.
More
And they're
nepotism.
She's a terrible actress. It hurts to watch her.
It's running rampant, everyone.
My gosh.
This nepotism it's everywhere. We can't even detect every place that it happens.
I don't even. We'll get into it soon because there's a big thing about that. But so his daughter, she is his wife's also in it, and the wife is her like ballet teacher, and the ballet teacher says that your daughter's just phenomenal, she's the best dancer in the world, we need to get her overseas to France or Paris or something to go to this school, and it costs like $300,000. And he's like, oh man, I got to make some money so I could get my daughter into the school. So he ends up getting back into the game, and while this interesting, well, not an opportunity, but while this conflict arises where he needs all this money to get his daughter into this fancy school so she could achieve her dreams, just like he wanted to achieve his dreams when he was young. While that happens, he's approached by this douchey rich dude that comes into his life, and he wants him to join this kind of punk rock golf group where they embrace the Happy Gilmoreism of golf, where it's punk rock. They are not traditional. They sway against the grain, and they're outrageous. They're loud. They look stupid. They wear dumb outfits. They're all very personified. They're like WWE wrestlers pretty much. And they want him to join their league. That's sort of like the next fresh new thing. And he doesn't like the main dude, so he doesn't join him. That becomes an instant antagonist. And there is a kind of an ultimate face-off between the real golf, like the professional pro tour, versus this new like punk rock group. And when that happens, those two kind of go to war. Happy chooses the pro golfers. And you kind of just see this unfold, see this war waged between the two groups, and Shooter McGavin ends up getting pulled into the mix. And where it takes Shooter is pretty interesting. For me, he was the best part of the whole film. Every single time Shooter was in a scene was great. And something I loved about Happy Gilmore too was the marketing was exquisite. Luke, did you see all the Subway ads with Shooter?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, those were genius.
Yeah.
Okay, those were funny. I loved those ads. They got me excited for this just for his sake. But he's barely utilized in this film. It could have been so fun to watch Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore and Shooter go at it again. But, just like a lot of movies, they end up kind of, getting hammy with each other. And it's not that. And it's barely Shooter is barely a focus. He's like a C-level character in this. We get way too much of his family. My gosh. As you said, Kyle, nepotism through the roof. His daughter, Adam Sandler recently had a movie come out with both of his daughters, or maybe another one too. And it was terrible. I remember I watched it because it's an Adam Sandler film. I'm a big Adam Sandler guy. Every time someone mentions your favorite movie comedian, it's him. I love so many of his films. And I had faith in him with this. And unfortunately, that faith has definitely stirred. And the last time I saw him was in this movie where it was like one of his daughters, it was her 15th birthday or something. I don't know. It was some big event. And I tried watching it thinking it'd be good. It was just unbearable. I had to turn it off. And I rarely do that. And here we go. Both of his daughters are in this again. And they bring the same kind of performance. Obviously, they were just thrown in here because they have relations with him. And unfortunately, that could be said for a lot of these characters. So many of his, so many cameos, like you mentioned earlier, Luke. There's a lot of cameos.
A lot.
I think they said there's like 50. Now, I
believe it.
I'm not a fan of cameos at all. I could care less about cameos at this point. I'm sick of it. But there were some good ones here. You see so many people from the original film that you think you'd totally forget about. I thought it was kind of fun bringing them back, but I couldn't stand the celebrity appearances. My gosh, they just stuffed them in here, so many. And it really took me out of the movie immediately. It kind of looked like a game show to me for some reason. But yeah, and they especially, what is it? Is it Bad Bunny? Is that his name, Luke?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, he's a pretty pivotal character. I didn't know who he was until I read about it afterwards. And that just immediately ruined it for me because this guy was a terrible actor. What an uninspiring performance. He wasn't funny. And at the end of the day, none of these guys were funny. This is Happy Gilmore. You're supposed to feel two things with Happy Gilmore. You're supposed to feel inspired and you're supposed to laugh. You're supposed to have a good time. I wasn't inspired one moment and I barely laughed. There you go. What do you got to say, Luke?
I agree with Cast Styles. It was a fun movie. It was it was a comforting movie for me, at least, because I love Adam Sandler, and I haven't seen him in a movie recently, so it was good to see him. I loved Happy Gilmore, so I don't know. Yeah, it just brought me home. I feel like I did like the plot a lot. I enjoyed some of the cameos, not all of them. I enjoyed most of the characters that were brought back, like Ben Stiller.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, Brent, it's really funny.
He was funny every time.
Shooter, obviously. I liked Eminem a lot. I mean, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
The guy is like, jackass. Him. Who else? That tall guy, the really tall guy.
I liked that one.
I liked him. I kind of liked Bad Bunny. He was. I mean,
he sucked.
I don't know. He kind of grew on me. Who else? I don't know, but I really enjoyed how they had Carl Weathers and the grandma waving at the end, like while he was trying to be in his happy place at the very end. I was like, that was pretty sweet.
That was all right. Sure.
That was pretty good. But I don't know. I like how he did the last one liner was like, somebody shot further. Or whatever he says.
He doesn't have it anymore. Adam Sandler, he cannot be that silly Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore like he used to. He can't. Like you see it just a little sprinkle of it, but nah, man, it was.
Well, granted, he
does not have it anymore in that way. Even when he's being silly in this, it doesn't land like he used to. This is 2020s humor. This is not 90s humor, which was funny and everybody loved it. Well, 2020s humor sucks balls. This is much. That's what this is.
I agree. A lot of the humor was, not very funny, but I enjoyed.
That's the whole point.
I enjoyed some of it. I enjoyed over a quarter, probably. I don't know. I just like Adam Sandler, like good or bad movie, Just
I think something I like that you said to me in private, Luke, was you said this was made for kids. Isn't that sad? Happy Gilmore's not for kids. It's not even really for families. Happy Gilmore, I believe, was for adults. It was raunchy. It was pretty adult. I would say teens.
Young adults.
This was for kids. This was clearly for children.
Yeah,
I could see that being the aim, but that's so different than the first. That's not what any of us signed up for.
I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun film. I mean, it was a good Happy Madison film in my eyes.
Okay.
Happy Madison is
any thoughts at all, Kyle? I know you haven't seen it.
I haven't. I don't think I'll probably end up looking at clips about the movie and these cameos to see if there's anyone interesting that showed up. But no, I've not been that much of a fan of Adam Sandler. He has a few films that I like and some moments in his films that I like. Me and Megan go back and forth, and
yeah,
I'll just randomly say, "Stop looking at me, Swan." So
yeah. See, that was the prime. I miss Billy Madison so bad. See, I actually liked Hubie Halloween. Did either of you see Hubie Halloween?
No.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought that was decent. It was really dumb, but it was a good fine line of dumb Billy Madison with older Adam Sandler. But I know a lot of people are going to dog me for that, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. Megan the Texan, I thought this related to what you just said. I'm getting Sandler fatigue with his movies. I'd love to see him in more versatile movies like Funny People or Uncut Gems. Haven't seen either. Oh, yeah, I heard he's like super serious in Uncut Gems. Yeah. I want to rewatch that. I guess that's a Scorsese film. What a weird place for Adam Sandler to insert himself. I'm pretty sure it was him. Is it not Scorsese? Look that up. I'm curious.
Yeah.
While you do that, forgive me if I'm wrong. I thought it was. Where are you putting it, Luke? Happy Gilmore too.
I give it a decent as well. I give it a 75 as well.
I give it
Uncut Gems was directed by Benny Safdie and Josh Safdie.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Say,
well, there you go. I don't know either of those dudes. Well, I think it's unwatchable, so it looks like we're gonna put it in mediocre.
Come on.
Yeah, it's unwatchable. I'm sorry. I mean, putting it next to Superman, that's probably fair.
Exactly.
That's
my point. It's in the fair category.
Well, no, I mean, it's fair to put it next to Superman. I think Superman is absolutely mediocre. Well, actually, I think it's unwatchable, but that's just how this works, unfortunately. Us three dividing the scores. Okay, well, next up, this is a smaller film. I wanted to add this because this has been a title I've been very curious about. I unfortunately haven't gotten the chance to watch this, but we try to talk about all kinds of different movies on here. I don't want it to just be big box office films. But this is a movie. Have any of you seen this one?
What are we talking about?
Let me pull it up. Don't Let Us Go to the Dogs Tonight.
That's such a weird title.
Yeah, so it's like
I've seen that trailer.
So yeah, that bothered me so much. Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight. So I think the way it is, I think it's supposed to be like sort of like slang in a way, like let us.
It's like somebody with dyslexia wrote the title. Yeah. And I speak as someone who has dyslexia, so I know what that's like. Maybe it's just a funny title.
Maybe you'll be more drawn to this film then. I just want to talk about this briefly because this has been pretty intriguing to me. I'm surprised you saw the trailer. They were playing this at the Cinemark, weren't they, Luke?
Yeah, they're playing these in theaters. Yeah,
that was surprising.
I apologize. I know you didn't hear me, but I was telling the other Jackson, I was making fun of the way you spelled it on the thing. I was like, wait, what? Don't Let's Go to the Dogs.
It's I'm not that stupid.
Shouldn't it be don't exclamation point and then let's go to the dogs tonight?
Yeah, that's
well, it's supposed to be don't let us go to the dogs tonight.
Don't let's go.
I think that's what it is.
It just messes you up. I mean, while you try to read it, don't let's.
I know that's why I wanted. Honestly, a big reason why this is stewed in my mind because I'm working right outside of an artsy theater downtown, and this is on the wall. It's like on their thing where they put the text, and I've let it stew in my head so long, and that's where I've come up with that conclusion. But let's just talk about the movie already. So don't have too much to say for this, but I definitely wanted to talk about it. Just a little synopsis here. Don't Let Us Go to the Dogs Tonight is a raw, emotional story about a young girl, Alexandra Fuller, growing up in war-torn 1970s Rhodesia. Her white settler family is surrounded by violence, political upheaval, and deep personal loss. Her mother struggles with alcoholism and grief, while her father is often away fighting in the war. And Alexandra, I believe the actress is like 6 years old, tries to make sense of it all as a child. And it pretty much the whole film just shows like the brutality of war in Africa through the lens of this child. and supposedly like critics were just raving about this little girl's her acting abilities, because she's like super young, and the whole film focuses on her, and she just watches this massacre unfold and her family torn apart by this by the rivaling tribes. And it looked very interesting in the trailers. I unfortunately haven't seen it, but I have been very curious about it. And I thought, we'd rank it somewhere here, because we have the haven't seen negative and the haven't seen positive. So Luke, would you say you would put in the positive section or the negative section?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I think
I
it's
put it in the positive. I don't have anything aside from that damn title, which, by the way, the better version of that title is "Let us not go to the dogs tonight."
Yeah, there you go.
Let's not go to the dogs tonight.
I almost want to give it a negative just because the title annoys me.
That's so messed up. But I mean, it's fair. Here, let's go right on to the next one. I don't think, have either of you seen Smurfs?
Fuck no.
It looked like straight dog, bro.
It
looked so bad. This is I wanted to bring it up because here, let me pull up the picture real quick. So yeah, Smurfs, this trailer, it just infuriated me, the setup for this. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it's doing very well in the box office. Poor kids really don't understand the difference between up and down, because these trailers just made this look utterly insufferable. You have Rihanna as Smurfette. She's the lead character. And the story is pretty simple. Papa Smurf gets abducted by Gargamel and his weird, funny looking brother, and they're trying to save Papa Smurf. The trailers made this look like it just seems like every time they make a new Smurfs adaptation, it just gets worse and worse. And this is the newest low. I was a big fan of the live action look of the Smurfs. Not a fan of this. Not a single one of those jokes in the trailer landed for me. I don't know. Even the few times we saw this where we were in crowds of children like Jurassic World, I didn't hear a single laugh from kids in the audience. So I'm really curious to know if it actually affected them or not. But this looked like a 0 to me. You guys have any thoughts before we move on to the next film?
Not specifically about Smurfs. I just want to say that there was a trailer before, a teaser for Zootopia 2 before Fantastic Four. And the way that they're selling these animated films for kids these days is so obnoxious. They don't sell a story. They don't have any mystery to it. They just show these crude characters dancing to this poppy club music. And it's such a disappointing place that our culture is in when it comes to movies for kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so much Flash.
I grew up with movies for kids that had mysterious teasers to it. Movies like A Bug's Life, it had that teaser for that movie. It actually had a dramatic impression to it. One of the first shots that they show you is a misty, grassy, the perspective of being in as an ant, but it's like a dark tone to it, right? But these movies today are very condescending to kids, and they do not show them any type of,
they don't challenge them,
any type of closeness to reality. And at least movies today are for kids they're very few and far between to the quality that I grew up with and the generations before. It's depressing, actually. No.
Oh, that was great. That was one of the best animated films I've ever seen. That was pretty recent. Have you seen it, Luke?
No, I heard everything but bad things about it. So
yeah, it was incredible. That's probably the best present example of it in a different direction, but that's a one-off. I think they are making a second one, but yeah, this looks like a disgrace. I'm glad we definitely agree on that, Kyle. So definitely haven't seen negative. I really wish I could put it in unwatchable, but
there should be a category below that, like Shredder,
the
Shredder category.
What, like you want it to die?
Yeah, just shred the movie.
Oh, just delete
from
it.
existence. Yeah. Shred the poster, shred the movie. Yeah.
I wish we could do that. I would instantly drag Jurassic World in there. That would be the first to go.
Yeah.
Or honestly,
I wouldn't stop you.
Superman, and then let's restart with Superman. Let's just completely restart. 3 years. I'll wait 3 years for a new Superman. That's fine. Here we go. Let's get into something else interesting. Actually, before we do that, let's talk to the chat. Thank you all for joining us again. Brain Johnson. What a handsome group of fellas. How y'all doing tonight? What's up, Brain? Nice
Brain.
name.
I said Brian. See, that's proof of my dyslexia. I read Brian.
So is it Brian? You think it's Brian? I've never seen it spelled like that.
Brian. Brain.
Brain.
Brain. I think he's doing some letter play there.
Gosh, good to see your Brain.
I like his profile pic.
Thanks for that. Yep, the real Captain America. That's not
which you
Sam
literally
Wilson.
have behind you.
That's right. That's not Sam Wilson. That's not Sam Wilson Captain America shield.
You started blocking it.
It's so weird. It's the opposite on here.
Yeah.
So let's see. Where are we? Here we go. Yeah, I like what Proctophile says here because this is so many great movies nobody knows about. Proctophile, I usually aim for movies that don't get any marketing, and I didn't know this one existed. Funky. Yeah. He recommended The Surfer, which was in my perfect category 2 months ago. That was Proctophile's recommendation. And then I recommended Eddington to him. And I don't think he was familiar with it before that. So, yeah, Proctophile's got good taste.
And to clarify, he's not referring to Smurfs. He's referring to the other film prior to that.
Not Smurfs. I'm glad you mentioned that. Fair point. Rachel Pierce, what does that even mean? It's like they threw random words up there. Oh yeah, she's talking about don't let us go to the dogs tonight.
Yeah, it really. I saw the trailer for that for one movie. I think it was for Materialist, and I'm looking at the title and I'm just.
I'm so glad you saw that. Gosh, did Megan see it too?
No, and that's the thing, dude. After I got out of the theater, I called her and I said, "I'll go see it again with you."
Wow, good stuff. Did she see it? She'll love it.
We'll get there.
It's the perfect date movie. It's the best romance I've seen in a long time.
I wouldn't call it the perfect date movie, but it's a movie that you see with your significant other that you an actual significant other, not like you don't go on a first date. Although it depends on the couple, yada yada. But it's not a fun movie. It's a movie that is introspective about relationships and the realities of classism and hypergamy, just very adult shit.
Yeah.
And I recommend people watch that because
Materialist.
Yeah. Chris Evans is awesome in it. Yeah.
Did you see it, Luke?
No,
oh man, you and Cassie need to see that. That's a good one. Huh. Yeah, so definitely recommend that. Proctopile. Wow, there's one showing near me this Sunday. Definitely gonna check it out. Thanks, Brawler. Cool, man. I hope you're not talking about Smurfs. No, I know there's no way.
The dog.
Proctopile does. Yeah, Proctopile does better than that. Yeah, check it out, man. I got to see that one. Rachel Piercy also wants to watch Don't Let Us Go to the Dogs Tonight. And he also says kids will watch anything with bright colors and cute characters. Yeah.
No, that's true, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, you're right, Rachel. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Wood chipper as a category. I'm kind of down for that.
Do it.
Wood chipper. Okay, we need to remember.
By the way, here's a reinforcement of that theory, Rachel, is kids will watch anything that has colors and flash, blah, blah, blah. Look at what the food companies do. They artificially put food coloring that's actually detrimental for their health just because it attracts them. It's really fucked up.
Yeah. It attracts me. I want a red drink, right? Or a blue drink.
Yeah, and drinks too. No, it's really unfortunate. There are a few restaurants that are actually taking the dyes out and making it more natural. So thank God for that.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm curious to know what that even looks like. Proctopile. I knew Eddington existed, but I wasn't willing to take a risk on it till you recommended it. Thanks again, man. Yeah, Proctopile. I'm glad you checked it out. It was a good one to watch. Oh no, Brain Johnson. Eddington is S tier. Good. Guess I'll have to give it a try. I heard it took place during COVID, and I thought it was going to be preachy politics. Nah, man, I really didn't think so. But
it's about politics, but I wouldn't call
definitely
it
not preachy.
Yeah.
No, it's a fair glimpse. Yeah, I guess we go on to our next one. I think we're going to be talking about, yes, another one. Luke, if I remember correctly, you are going to give us a brief summary of your friend Fantastic Four.
Bring it on, man.
Okay. So I'm gonna start off with my reaction of the film. I thought I'm gonna set it in the category just prior to when you guys do it. I would give it in between. What's right below amazing?
Let's take a look. Let's see. Amazing is decent, 70-80%.
Okay, I give it a.
You said a 7.5 earlier.
I gave it about a 75%. So right below amazing, decent, amazing. Okay, so it all opens up with the origin story. They go up to space, then you just hear the audio of them freaking out. They come back down, automatically cuts the scenes of them fighting their villains. Freaking fly. They fight shows them fighting villains from the past. There was an ape. I only know
man.
Bullman also knows the Underminer from the Incredibles.
Literally the Underminer.
That's hilarious. And a few other monsters. But then it automatically opens up with the baby. They got the pregnancy test. They're all happy, yada. They're setting up for the baby, kind of slow, kind of boring. They're just, doing nonsense. And then they're like, oh, let's celebrate. And then Silver Surfer comes. And this is when, the movie finally opens up the plot. She says her whole monologue, you're doomed. There's nothing you can do about it. They're like, whatever. Press conference. Hey, guys, we're going up to space. We're going to talk to them. We're going to defeat them. They go up to space. They attempt to negotiate with the great Galactus. Galactus is the having it. He's already intimidating. He makes it known that he is not talking with them. They're not talking him down. He threatens the child. He wants the child in return for this was said in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling. He wanted the child in return to spare Earth. The child will uncurse him from whatever curse he has from being hungry, the internal hunger. So he threatens the baby. Johnny's not having it. That's his nephew. So he kind of attacks Galactus. They have a whole showdown with Silver Surfer. So they get out of there because they're, fucked if they stay there. So they get out of there. They barely get home. They trick Silver Surfer to thinking, anyway, they get back to Earth. They hold another press conference. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, no. Galactus is coming. So they pretty much prepare for the next sequence in the movie. And then, here comes Galactus. After they fail to attempt to that's a spoiler. After they fail to escape Galactus, Galactus comes, lands on Earth, very intimidating. He makes it clear he could level New York City if he wanted to. Sadly, he doesn't. It sounds mean, but sadly he doesn't show his full potential. He attempts to abduct the baby to consume him or whatever he was going to do with him. Sue Storm does her thing, pushes them into the portal, blasts them off to. What, you don't remember that?
You're spoiling a lot, man. You're saying everything that's happening.
Damn it! You're right.
That's all right. You know what? People should have seen it by
It's so
now.
hard. There's like three main
late.
points. There's
It's
not a
too
lot.
late,
There's
man.
not a lot to the movie. There's not a
I
lot to the
love
movie. I'll be
that.
honest.
There
That's
isn't. You're
pretty
right.
much it. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Damn. I knew I was pushing boundaries. The more I was
Oh
going.
my gosh.
Anyway, none of that actually happened. I was just saying that.
Oh my gosh.
Rachel said he's giving us 75%, so let's keep going.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. All right,
Why don't you mention who dies
Oh, yeah.
while you're at it?
Does someone die? I don't even remember. I don't
Yes,
think
actually,
anybody
yeah.
does.
Well, it's implied, but I don't know.
I don't remember at all.
I might as well say it.
Yeah, it's fine. What's weird about this movie is that it opens it felt like the first 15, 20 minutes was a giant montage.
Yes, pretty much.
Because it's bringing us up to date with what we haven't seen and where the characters have been and what they've done. And I did not hold my attention. I was just, okay, start the story. Stop trying to update me from what has happened in the past.
Yeah.
Get me to the present and start the story. So when, the moment Silver Surfer comes and lays out the details of, oh my gosh, here's a conflict now, and we're going to deal with this. They want Sue and Mr. Fantastic's child. Well, okay, here we go. Get it started, and that's when the movie started up. But it takes about 20 minutes to get there, and
slow start.
I don't know why they took the time to do that, because we've already had multiple iterations of the Fantastic Four anyway.
That's true. Okay. I'm so glad we didn't see like the origin of their powers. That would have been so old if we had to see that.
No, they kind of do though. They actually they don't show us, which is actually a faux pas with movies. You show, you don't tell. But there's so much telling going on in voiceover. The Fantastic Four, of a talk show in the 50s or the 60s. They went into space and they were exposed to a cosmic radiation. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, we know that already. All of us know that.
Well, I guess a lot of people, this is like their entrance, right? I mean, I kind of grew up with the early 2000s Fantastic Four, but barely. I can't imagine any of the young people nowadays care to watch those, especially not Miles Teller's Fantastic Four. I don't know. I think they're completely irrelevant.
That's just a mess. What happened with that movie?
Oh gosh,
2015, I think.
Oh came my gosh, 9% Rotten Tomatoes. I think
it's a mess. It was mishandled by the studio. Josh Trank was difficult to work with. He had his own cut. Blah 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 blah. It's just it's hard to talk about that movie because it's not. You can talk about the movie what they released, but it's not really the movie that we should have seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's almost like a movie that shouldn't be considered a Fantastic Four movie because it's like a you know what it is?
All the life was sucked out of it.
You want to know what it is? It's a stillbirth. Stillborn baby. It's a stillborn baby. It's a dead baby. That's born. Yeah.
That's facts, man. It's just gray. It is gray as it gets. Might as well just visit a cemetery at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, but with because I actually watched the beginning of the 2005 Fantastic Four in comparison to this one. And I gotta say, dude, the chemistry, look, the guy who plays Mr. Fantastic, I can't even pronounce his name. It's like Ioan Grufford. No one can pronounce his name. People are still trying to figure out how to pronounce his name. He's not a good actor as Mr. Fantastic. So in some aspect, Pascal is an improvement in terms of acting. However, you could call it a nitpick. I don't care. It's something that you look at through the entire film. This movie takes place in the 60s, if I'm correct. Yes?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. This guy has a 5 o'clock shadow like I do, and he has a mustache. Why the hell did they keep this? That was not in fashion. You wouldn't do that, especially someone of esteem. You got to zoom in.
Yeah, I don't know if I
get a bigger picture of him. But yeah, he has stubble, and it does not work. That doesn't make any sense at the time. Yeah,
everybody was real clean cut, right?
Absolutely. When they and not even with mustaches. So I don't care if that's a nitpick. That's an aesthetic, legitimate note that was distracting. Let's see. Another thing is, so yeah, that was an improvement with Pascal, although I still think Pascal is just a middle-of-the-road actor. He's overrated. The guy playing, you'd have to tell me who Johnny Storm is in this one.
Oh, Joseph Quinn. Joseph
Quinn cannot hold a candle to what Chris Evans brought to Johnny Storm.
No, I agree.
He is the man. He is fucking great as Johnny Storm in the 2005 movie.
Thank you.
Everybody agrees on that. Everyone likes him as Johnny Storm.
We all love. I mean, Chris Evans is just, he's good. He's great.
Yeah,
it's interesting to like talk about Chris Evans for a second. He's never really he's not known as an awards, accolades type of guy. He's not nominated for a Golden Globe or an Oscar, yada yada. But yet he's given all these performances that are iconic and memorable. He's a really good actor.
Yeah,
have you seen Snowpiercer?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love Snowpiercer.
I think
awesome in that.
Even though it's a little bit unnecessary to say so because he's a very successful actor, he's a little underrated when it comes to his performances. He's a bit underrated.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in anything. I thought he did a bad job. No. He was great in Materialist.
Yeah.
He was small. Wasn't it crazy seeing how small he was? He looked tiny.
Wait.
Chris Evans.
Like stature-wise?
Yeah. Like, he didn't have to be super beef, but, I mean, he looked, like, really tiny. Like,
well, maybe he was doing something with his posture that was different.
I don't know. Maybe.
I didn't see that in terms of him looking tiny. I didn't see that.
Oh,
No.
Well, I don't know. Just a few things I'd say about Fantastic Four. I've already made a few videos, but I was mostly pleased, a little disappointed. I guess I was hearing so many great things going in that I ended up having higher hopes. Most of the rumors were not true. Sue Storm did not lead the Fantastic Four. She wasn't really a girl boss. The female Silver Surfer.
She was a mama bear.
She's Mama Bear. Yeah, that's fair. Definitely Mama Bear.
I say that as a positive.
Yeah, female Silver Surfer. She wasn't insufferable. She wasn't. I wasn't really bothered by her. Surprisingly, I was really worried they would just kind of cuck, Norrin Rad in this by throwing her in here. But no, she was fine, inoffensive. Of course, Galactus was awesome. Thank goodness. And I thought they all did a good job. They were all played the characters well. I was intrigued by them, and I was interested in them. That's a pretty good win. That I'm interested in any new Marvel character. I think these are 4 of the best Marvel characters we've gotten in the last few years. I don't know. That's not saying much. Bar. Yeah, it's not saying much, man. But it's something. It's an improvement. So we'll see if they keep going with this. But yeah, definitely more positive things to say than negative, surprisingly. But at the end of the day, it just didn't hit home for me. So where do you guys put this, Luke? Why don't you start because you're a big Marvel guy.
I give it a decent.
Okay, so 70, 80. What do you got, Kyle?
60, 70 tops.
Yeah, I think 60. I'm going to do 60, 70 as well. So I guess that's both 60 to 70. Man, this is a diverse list here. Yeah. We've got almost all. This is I don't have enough room for this. All right. Well, great. So there's the list so far, everybody. Unfortunately, I wish I could just take Eddington, but I can't.
Stop it.
I'm not allowed. Kyle, you see how close I am, Kyle? I can almost put it there.
Put it back.
Do you mind if I shake things up a little bit and move Smurfs to perfect?
Here, quick transition.
Yes,
dude. Yeah, there's that laugh. Yeah, there it is. Now you're really leaning into it.
That's right. That was raw laugh. All right, this next one. Have either of you seen Together?
No, I've seen posters in the movie theater for it though.
Yeah, I've seen posters. I've seen the trailers. I've been curious about this title.
Their lips are interlocked, melded together. They're merged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh wait, before we talk about that, let's see what the chat has to say real quick. Thank you all for chatting with us again.
They might have a few things to say about.
Yeah, about Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Talking a lot about Chris Evans.
Oh my gosh,
nice.
This made me laugh when you were giving your synopsis, Luke. Spoilers.
When I create my YouTube channel, I should put spoiler warning on every. That should be my username. Spoiler warning.
I did not see that coming, Luke. I did not think you'd be telling what happened at the end.
Why did you guys stop me at the beginning and not the very end?
We were having too much fun.
I didn't think you were spoiling at the very beginning, and then you dropped that bomb. It's like, bro, don't say that. That's literally the ending of the whole movie.
Yeah, I know.
Oh gosh, let's see.
It's synopsis, not summary.
Yeah, that's right.
Of the
That's
entire
right.
film.
Synopsis. File. Fantastic
dude.
Four. Yeah, we're just busting your balls. Fantastic Four is fun in a good old Johnny Quest kind of way. But if you actually think about the plot at all, I can't put it above average. Yeah. I mean, it's a little tattered. T. Parker Evans, what's up, man? F4 is a decent film. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. The best MCU film since No Way Home, and also best looking MCU film since Endgame, minus the CGI baby from Twilight. Not a movie I'd watch.
Yeah, that is okay. So I
thought
read
it
an
was
article
CGI
that
too.
said I think what the actress Vanessa Kirby, is that her name?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. She said how they used a real baby, and they do for some scenes, and it's a cute baby. They get some good takes out of, like, one takes where at one point Pascal is talking to his child, right? In the movie. And so good takes on that, but there are some takes in this movie. It is embarrassing. It's a good parallel there,
baby.
comparison. It looks like that Twilight baby. There's some bad CGI baby in this. Yeah.
I remember I read the same thing as you, Kyle. She said that it was a real baby, and I thought there was definitely some scenes where I was looking at it, and it looked like a CGI baby.
Because it is.
Yeah.
There are some scenes that just straight up is.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
I
was kind of disappointed. I mean, even like the fire in a lot of the scenes was. I mean, I feel like Chris Evans, Johnny Storm had better fire effects.
Also, the stretching too. Somehow they haven't been able to make the stretching look realistic in any movie.
I thought he looked all right. I was a little
In this one?
disappointed I wasn't bothered by it.
He was decent. I didn't like some of the Sue Storm effects.
Yeah,
it just didn't.
I don't
like
really.
the
I still don't
scene
really
where,
understand her powers.
The scene where Mr. Fantastic, it's like the beginning during the montage when he jumps up on the building, the fire explosions behind him. It was so bad. Like it was like the very beginning. He like jumped up on the building, like and there was an explosion behind him, and it looked at least late 80s CGI. It was not good. I don't know.
I don't recall it, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it was.
Did you see it more than once?
Yeah, I saw it twice.
Oh wow!
Oh, there you go.
This isn't
So
a movie I'd rewatch.
I saw it the second time for Galactus. Just saying.
What is with you and Galactus?
I brought my Galactus.
He really likes Galactus.
Why?
Just to
Do you want to kidnap a baby?
Everybody loved it.
You can put a baby.
I know.
In that thing.
I was
It's
gonna say
huge.
I'm almost ashamed to own it while watching this movie. Like,
it's cool.
it was like he was such a bad character. I was like, I want to destroy this now to save everybody.
Those buckets, Kyle. I don't know if I have one here. See, I can't do it right.
Jeez,
there,
you got one there.
Yeah, they're sold out. They sold out the first day. It was all gone.
The eyes are dimming.
These new batteries, Luke.
Probably.
They're pretty cool. But here, let's see what else everyone has to say. Both of these made me laugh. Rachel Piercy Art. Hell, he's giving us 75%. LOL, keep going. And then Ejecta Curtin. What's up, Ejecta? You're new here. Synopsis complete. That killed me.
I won't be surprised
if
there's a comment that says, I feel like I've already seen the movie.
You guys just listen to the movie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Movie on audiobook.
Yeah.
This is audio, man. You should get some residuals for that. Cassie's laughing at you. Oh, good fun, Cassie. Fantastic Four. Oh, Jared Collins. What's up, Jared? Thanks for joining us. Fantastic Four, 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Hey, that's respectable.
I like that.
I think that's kind of
that's accurate. High rating.
Is that what we gave it? No,
Yeah,
we did 50 to 60.
Oh
wait, no, we did 60 to 70.
It's
I
close
gave it
enough.
a 75 to 80.
Yeah. Let's see. Any good horror movies gonna be on this list? I guess one, and we're not too sure about it. We'll see. Oh, is the film you're talking about, Kyle? Was that horror? The sequel. What is it called? Let me look real quick.
The one that's
I know what you
getting
did last
ahead
time.
to. Yeah, you're talking about that one.
We'll jump to that. But is that a horror film?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that. Let's see. Proctor File. Gord King had a good post today. Imagine if Silver Surfer had to herald the kid after he took the power cosmic. She flies to some planet and says, I herald Franklin. That would be funny. Let's see. Cass says, I was a little worried about the beginning, but once Silver Surfer came, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. She was kind of intimidating.
She was.
I'll admit that.
He had no
sure.
clue what she didn't know what that was coming. He had no clue it was coming.
Oh, Brain Johnson. Do you have a list of all the movies you're going to rank? Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at the beginning of the stream, all of the movies are on the bottom of the screen. And I have the posters, just not all the names.
I have a suggestion. After the post, put the whole list in the description.
Oh, yeah, numbered. That's a good idea. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We also have I Know What You Did Last Summer on the list. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Jared Collins. Watched the 2005 version before watching the new one. Chris Evans did a great job as Johnny Storm. Yeah, man. I need to rewatch that.
Oh, it's fun.
Oh,
it's actually it's a fun time, actually.
Gifted. Is that the one, like the poster where Chris Evans has like a girl on his shoulders?
Yes.
Okay, wow. He says that's
another movie that he gives a really good performance in.
I've never heard of that one. So it's really good, huh?
I think you'll like it.
Wow.
It's up your alley, yeah. It's your kind of movie.
Yeah, I love stressful films as well. I don't know if that counts or not. Let's see. Eject a Curtain. Is it the actor or the script and direction?
In relation to what?
I don't know. Maybe talking about I'm not sure. Sorry, Ejecta. Might be talking about something else. Let's see. Yep, Rachel likes Gifted. 20 years later, the FX should be miles apart. Yeah, that's so sad. And this is the best example we have so far of like what of a decent display of modern visual effects. And there you go. It's not that much different. Sad. T. Parker Evans, seeing Together tomorrow. Heard nothing but positive things about it so far. I am very curious about this one too, T. Parker. I might be checking this out as well. You'll have to let me know, man. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Brain Johnson, the stretching is an inherently goofy ability. I'm pretty sure it's impossible to make it look good in live action. It's also why DC was smart to lean into the comedy of it with Plastic Man. I'd love a Plastic Man movie. That would be so much fun. There's James Gunn humor right there. That's what he can make. Plastic Man, James Gunn. This is your big chance. Do this. This is all you're allowed to touch. And you do everything you want with it. But you are never allowed to touch Superman ever again.
I agree.
Sound good?
I'm with you there.
All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Majority decision. Great. All right. So let's talk about this upcoming horror film with Dave Franco and Alison Brie. I guess in real life they're actually like a couple, which is kind of fun, I guess. And this has been a film that's kind of gotten a lot of intrigue. I guess there's like some weird shady stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm not too sure what happened, like some legal rights issues. Like people, I guess they were sued for protagonism or not. Oh gosh, what is it called?
Plagiarism.
Protagonism. Yeah, plagiarism. And that was like a ridiculous claim. I'm not sure if they won that dispute or not. But I haven't seen this movie. It doesn't sound like any of us have. But definitely curious. Just brief synopsis or brief summary of the story is Together is a surreal horror film about a couple, Millie and Tim, who fall into a cave and drink from a strange pool, only to wake up physically fused together. As their bodies grotesquely merge, their emotional issues surface, turning their toxic relationship into a literal nightmare. And that seems to be like the central conflict of the film is I guess maybe they're living together or something, and they just start fusing into each other. And I don't know how far that goes. I mean, I think I read somewhere it was like an insane body horror movie. So that could be interesting to see. Don't really know much about it. Do you guys have any thoughts?
I would have to look at the trailer. I haven't seen it, but my question that comes to mind is how long can you sustain that concept of the bodies merging together? And also in terms of where do they go about a city? Do they just go back home? Are they stuck in that cave, etc.?
So I don't think they're stuck in the cave.
Okay, well, I'd have to look at the trailer to decide whether I'd want to see it or not, or even put it in the category. Yeah. I suppose because I liked The Substance last year. Actually, I love The Substance. So body horror, when it's done right, is can work, and I like that. I suppose it's enough for me to look at the trailer or want to look at it. So I would put it in haven't seen positive category, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I don't really have too much to say myself either. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm intrigued. So I guess we're probably going to say haven't seen positive.
Yeah.
Because we are curious. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So curiosity is a good thing. That doesn't mean we like it or if it's good or not. Just saying. Have either of you seen? Now we're starting to get a little more niche. Have either of you seen? I Know What You Did Last Summer. No. Yeah, I didn't really. I don't care about this franchise. I didn't know. I'm a big horror movie and I like slasher films. I didn't know this existed until this came out. Like I didn't realize that there's.
You didn't know about the franchise?
No, zero awareness. Completely passed me by.
Real
how many films
aging
are
yourself there.
Yeah,
Dating yourself as the youngin.
Wait. So do you know when those came out?
Yeah, the first one came out in 1999. And it does say that 99.
I believe so. Yeah,
I thought it was 98, but
it might be
close enough. And it was written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream, and he was tasked by obviously a studio that wanted him to make another Scream franchise, and he essentially did. And there you go. So the first one was successsuccessful.
97,
97. So even a year further back than that. So what's interesting about the film is that it has segments that are memorable and iconic that we know about, and it was parodied a lot in Scary Movie. You know about that movie, right? the parody movie, Scary Movie by the Wayans brothers. When they hit in the actual film, I Know What You Did Last Summer, they're driving all together in a sedan around a bend, and they hit somebody. They're drinking and driving, blah, blah, blah. They're partying, they're making out in the car, blah, blah, blah. They're teenagers or college years. And they're trying to figure out, what did we hit, blah, blah, blah. In the Scary Movie version, that happens. And the one of the girls in the group goes in front of them and she picks up oh my god, we hit a boot, and one of the guy dead serious says, where's the foot? So the movie has moments that in pop culture are memorable, but the thing with me is that I don't remember a lot of the twists and turns or the significant portions of that movie. It's not as good as, nowhere near as good as Scream.
Man.
It's nowhere near as good as The Faculty. Not even as good as Teaching Mrs. Tingle, which is not a horror movie. It's more of a thriller. But those are all written by Kevin Williamson. And I think I Know What You Did Last Summer is the lesser of his writing credits. He didn't direct it, but he wrote it.
What were the other titles he did that you are familiar with?
The Faculty.
Okay.
Teaching Mrs. Tingle. He directed that, actually. That's his only directing credit until Scream 7.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, he's coming back with a vengeance. Let's see how he does. All right? 'Cause he's writing and directing that one. That's his triumphant return to being a writer and director. It's been since the 90s.
Wow.
So we'll see how he does. I'm hoping that he knocks it out of the park with Scream 7. So I don't think he had anything to do with this quasi sequel reboot. And I think I avoided it because of how bad the Scream franchise got. You can look at my Scream 6 review, now available on my channel, to see what I'm talking about. And I get the sense that it's doing the same thing. It's bringing back some of the OG characters, legacy characters, and probably killing them off, or at least one of them. Definitely. And it's got these annoying new teenage characters. And I heard some titters that there's some woke shit in this movie, and I ain't having any of that. So
oh boy,
it's enough for me. And not Sarah Michelle Gellar. Jennifer Love Hewitt has said things in interviews that have turned me off to want to see that movie.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, I don't even think it's playing in theaters anymore. I think it's dead in the water.
It's not making a lot. And Good on you, audience, for voting with your dollars.
Finally, why couldn't they do that with Jurassic World or Superman?
Because they fucking want my theory is because Jurassic World Rebirth is successful because that first movie is so iconic, and they just want to experience that again. That's my theory. Anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. Gosh. Okay. So it sounds like I really don't know what to think about this. I'm totally indifferent. I don't know much about it. I don't care either. It's not intriguing to me. I'm kind of intrigued by Freddie Prinze Jr. Just because the only thing I've ever seen him live action in is the old Scooby Doo movies. I know I hate to say it, but I mean that was when James Gunn was good. That was a long time ago.
Yes, he wrote those. Yeah.
Yeah, and
see, that's where he belongs.
That's where he belongs.
To make goofy movies.
Man.
Yeah, you know what he should do? He should literally make like a Looney Tunes goofy movie or whatever, like a live action goofy movie. Not Superman.
Is the last place he needs to be, man. The last place.
Yeah.
Batman is he cannot touch Batman. Zero. Superman
We've said
like
that
5%.
phrase numerous times throughout the stream.
It's just a horrifying thought.
Luke, do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? He shouldn't.
Yeah. He's not touching Batman. There's already somebody else touching Batman, but
no, dude, you didn't hear me before. He's going to.
Yeah, 2 iterations.
Oh, he's saying that he's at least.
I must have missed that.
He's the head of DC now. He's going to have some involvement in it. Yeah, he's going to have a paralleling Batman, his version of it. Whether he gets another filmmaker, he's still going to be the Kevin Feige of the DC universe. That's what's going to happen.
As long as he's not touching Robert Pattinson's Batman, because
I don't think he will.
He won't. He said he's not going to. So.
Okay, good. Well, that's the only Batman I care about, really, honestly, as of right now. But yeah, he should definitely stay with Marvel. I agree that he should stay away from DC.
I think he should stop altogether.
It's not his.
Yeah, see, my response to that is I think he should stop making any superhero movies and go to some other stuff like make. You know how they made Looney Tunes back in action, blah blah blah. Make his version of that. Make different stuff, different kind of franchises that aren't related to superheroes.
Resurrect some old titles that are fun and silly.
Yeah. Sure. What's his Spy Kids version of that franchise? There you go. That's where he belongs.
Yeah,
he does not belong in these movies that really. Richard Donner directed the first Superman and sort of the second. What? Like James Gunn is no Richard Donner.
No. Oh, bro. All right, let's put. Okay, so I have a feeling it's haven't seen negative. Are we all pretty unanimous on that?
Oh, absolutely negative. Yeah,
negative. All right. So Kyle, I'm gonna let you take the floor with this.
It's gonna. I don't intend to be long with this one.
Okay. Yep. Last film of the day.
Yeah.
Old Guard 2. Tell us, what is this? I have zero idea what this is.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up a synopsis that I wasn't prepared for. Because it is really difficult to explain this movie because it is so meandering. All right, so
do you want to look at that real quick while I get to the?
I got it in front of me. So it's a short log line. Andy, played by Charlize Theron, leads immortal warriors who literally live like thousands of years. There's variants of ages, but they fight against a powerful enemy threatening their group. They grapple with the resurfacing of a long-lost immortal, played by Uma Thurman. Kill Bill, everyone. Complicating their mission to safeguard humanity. I don't even know what the hell that even means in terms of them safeguarding humanity. They don't do shit aside from little operations. So this is a sequel to a movie that came out during the shutdowns, 2020, and had some interesting stuff in it. Frankly, I don't remember the majority of it, but it was interesting that this movie came out at the beginning of July and completely disappeared and nobody talked about it. I was curious about is this like a car accident that you could watch? So I started playing it and I got probably an hour and a little over an hour into it, this movie is so meandering. I say it again. Nothing happens. It is an action movie where nothing happens. They have an opening scene where there's a bit of a fight in a mansion. They steal some cars, and that's kind of it. There's a little bit of hand-to-hand combat throughout the time that I watched, but the majority of this movie is of people just talking.
Oof.
Like in a house, not even interesting locations, and yet they're still globetrotting, apparently. You're going to Singapore, we're going to Paris, going to Italy, blah, 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 and yet they do not feature these cities in any kind of interesting way. This movie was delayed like 4 years or something, and it features one of the biggest stars, Charlize Theron, and this movie is terrible. Do not approach this movie. I just brought it up as a suggestion to talk about how this is an example of a movie that has some good actors in it. The best of them, I think, is Chiwetel Ejiofor.
That's the dude on the bottom there.
Yes, he's making a weird expression that doesn't make him look like him. But yeah, he's been a great actor since I remember first seeing him in Serenity, which is the movie
Firefly, wasn't it?
It's the sequel. It's the movie.
I remember that.
Yeah, feature sequel to the TV show Firefly. Mm-hmm. He plays the bad guy in that movie, and he's really good. And he was in 12 Years a Slave, etc. He's a really great actor, but he can't save this movie, obviously, because the script is just it's terrible. There's just too much talking. This is an action movie with just talking, and they're over-explaining shit and theorizing about, losing immortality. How can we switch it back and forth? Blah 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 to this person if we defeat the blah blah. It's silly. It's dumb, and it has a concept that could be interesting, but is not. And even some of the acting is pretty poor. There's a
it looks like downtown LA. Look at this poster.
Good point, man. Good point. Yeah.
Come on, guys.
That's what 2020 looked like. So yeah, there's a scene between a character, Charlize Theron's character, and a person she hasn't seen in like 2,000 years because they captured her and put her in a like kind of a coffin, but a coffin that she could constantly drown in, right? And all of a sudden, they sit down at like in front of a coffee shop and talk about where were you and blah 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 blah. I tried to find you and I could. Well, you didn't. And now all of a sudden she turns bad and she hates Charlize Theron, even though the last time she saw her, they were besties. That scene is just like cringy the way that it plays out, and it's too long, and it's not good. Anyway, this is kind of like a jumbled mess of an explanation and an overview of this movie. But yeah, it's just an example of a movie to definitely stay away from. It's definitely worse than the first film. This movie never should have been made. It's just an example of content creation for the sake of it, because the first one got to number one for an extended period of time during the shutdowns. Well, damn. We are not in the shutdowns anymore. It's been 5 years. We have some echoes of consequences that we're dealing with from those shutdowns, but no, this is like a bad memory that people have from they watched this movie, the first film, and they kind of liked it, yada yada, but they instantly see that there's a sequel to it. It's just like PTSD. They don't want to touch it,
Yeah, like Bird Box 2, if they ever bring us another Bird Box, right?
Oh man,
that
was a thing too. Well,
yeah,
Bird Box is a lot better than this. Yeah.
Kyle, when you look at because you said this is like literally just like streaming content, that's just the perfect term. I talk about it all the time,
and it's condescending. It's insulting, actually. It's insulting to the audience because they think they'll just eat this shit or slop up, as you say. And I think people do, because it's so fucking lazy. The writers were probably commissioned by Netflix to make a sequel, And for whatever, haven't delved into it enough to know about the behind the scenes and why this took so long to come out. But I get a sense is because it was so bad, when it was commissioned to make the film, and they just wrote multiple scenes of just talking about, oh, you're 2,000 years old. Well, I'm 1,000 years old. Let me show you a book that looks like a 10th grader drew it, and there's no writing, and yet I'm telling you about all this history, and it's just a bunch of pictures. It's stupid. It's a bad film. Anyway, that's my conclusion. You can put this on the ranking list as put it on the shredder. If you had the shredder category, it is definitely in the shredder. But for now, it'll have to settle in
unwatchable. Oh Absolutely. My gosh. All right. Well, there you go, everybody. Look at this. No, thanks to you, Kyle. There's no perfect films. No perfect films. We got Eddington at the top, as it deserves to be. 80 to 90%. Preferably it'd been perfect, but that's okay. That's the way this works. Nobody's decent. Fantastic Four is bland, 60 to 70%. Mediocre, Superman, and Happy Gilmore 2. Perfect term for both of those films. And then strictly unwatchable, we have Jurassic World Afterbirth and Old Guard 2. Haven't seen negative, we have Smurfs. None of us are ever going to see that in our lives. Yeah, and then I Know What You Did Last Summer. Probably never going to see that. Haven't seen positive. All of us are pretty interested in Don't Let Us Go to the Dogs Tonight, as well as Together. So that's it, everybody. Stay tuned for next month where we talk about the August releases. That'll be fun. And Kyle, all three of us, including Gen X Man, we're going to be talking about Godfather Part 3 next Tuesday. Pretty big. Yes. Pretty big. We've been sitting on that for a while now. Yeah, Luke is not excited to watch.
You're going to be there, right?
Luke's going to be there.
Why are you sleepy on it?
Because everybody, I've heard nothing but bad things about the third Godfather film.
Okay. You haven't seen it yet, and Jackson, you haven't seen it yet. No. So are you going to see it on the day?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll watch it.
This will be interesting.
Tuesday.
This is
I've heard,
interesting.
The first and second one kind of grew on me. I know it's a big handful to watch for the very first time, but I appreciate the cinematography of those two films, and so I don't really have hope for the third one because I've heard that it's nothing like the first and second one. It's almost like a I don't know, it's just a different vibe, and that I'm not really interested in, but we'll see.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that next Tuesday, everybody. We're going to have a great conversation. Kyle's been pumped for this one. So I'm glad we're finally we're going to make that happen next Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So be sure to join us. Before we quit for tonight, let's just see what everybody has to say. Thank you all for your patience. We've enjoyed talking with you all today. Proctofile. Oh shit. I haven't seen Allison Brie in anything since Community. Yeah. I didn't recognize her. That's going to be, I guess that's Matt Franco's girlfriend in that Together film.
Dave Franco.
My bad. Dave Franco. Jeez. Wait, okay. So is there a Matt Franco?
Is it James Franco?
Obviously there's a James Franco. Is there a Matt Franco, or am I making that up? I thought that dude, I really thought this guy's name was Matt Franco, but yeah, nope. All right, fine, whatever. Let's see. Hey, James was in Your Highness. Great movie. James Franco?
Yes.
Okay. I like James. I love James Franco.
I do too. Movies.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's a shame the route he went down, though.
T. Parker Evans.
He was caught in the middle of
and that was a while ago. I mean, he's made movies since then, I think.
Yeah.
I think so too. T. Parker Evans grew up with the I Know What You Did Last Summer films. The original was written by Kevin Williamson, like you said.
Yep.
He said it's also based on a book. That's interesting. I think maybe he's talking about something else.
Yeah, you'd have to be, because that's an original idea.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Parkfall is saying the first movie was a cult classic, but it's not a premise that you can build up into a franchise. Jeez, I'm so tired of this franchise BS. So dumb. I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 is a fun, campy slasher that has bold swings. It divided the fan base. It's a 7 out of 10, so it's decent. Wow. Man, Parker, you watch all kinds of stuff. Good for you, man. Ejecta Curtain says the opposite. It's a terrible movie. The age of PG-13 horror. Is it PG-13? I think it's.
I thought
R.
it's rated R. Yeah,
it's rated
It must like act like a PG-13. He thinks. Parker Evans says the original has one of the best chase scenes in horror history. All right, man. Cool. Let's see. Useless franchises rebooted way too late. Go to negative. Way too late. Go to negative until proven otherwise. Sorry, man. I've been reading too many today. I'm like my brain's fried. Let's see. Yep, product file. Freaking James Gunn. That guy makes sucking on lead look appealing. Yeah, he does. Really. That's a temptation right now. If you had to put me in front of Superman again, just hand me some lead. That'd be great.
Well, his last name is very apropos to that analogy.
What, Gunn? Oh yeah, literally. Yeah, take it that way. I wasn't talking about like gun wise. I thought he was literally talking about like poisonous lead or something. Brain Johnson. The concept of the old guard was interesting, but it was so boring I didn't even finish the movie.
Brain, are you talking about the first film or the second? Is the wondering I have. Because if you thought the first one was bad, you're gonna want to eat lead. The second,
yeah, he's screwed for the second one.
Don't even approach it.
Right. I like this. Rachel Piercy, are you gonna have action in your action movie? They might sprinkle it in there. That was funny about Fantastic Four. It's strictly a sci-fi. There's really not much superhero in it. That's what I thought. Let's see. Yeah, that poor dude. The
Chiwetel.
Yeah, he needs a new casting agent. Yeah. He was great in Life of Chuck, though.
He's too good for that.
I'm so excited for him. No. He's going to be in the Backrooms film. That's perfect. I can't wait. I like this. Ejecta curtain synopsis incomplete. You didn't spoil everything. Kyle.
Sign off with Kyle. The last 10 minutes. Of what happens in Fantastic Four.
That was awesome. Man.
I dropped the ball, man.
Proctophile. Dude, don't remind me of Bird Box. I once saw a bunch of kids tripping around their front yard blindfolded. Yeah. Let's not talk about Bird Box, man. Woo, it was a rough month, but we survived.
It was a busy month.
It was rough. Why couldn't those be just when I saw Superman, I wanted to be just blown away by how amazing it was. And nope. The opposite. Okay, Ejecta Curtain was talking about the 90s movies earlier. Yeah, and Parker Evans says that I Know What You Did Last Summer is based on a novel from 1973 written by Lois Duncan. Huh. It's more of a mystery than a slasher. Cool, man. Thanks for informing. Good to know. And then Brain Johnson was talking about the first film when it comes to the Guardian movie. I'll avoid the second at all costs. Nice. That's cool. Well, thank you all for joining us here today. And thank you, my distinguished guests. It was great having you both on. Kyle, always a pleasure. I get to see you again this Thursday on Paul's show. I hope.
Oh, yes. Yes, we are going to be. Yeah.
That's good.
It's going to be,
That'll be fun. We'll have a lot to
sip and a drink or two.
Yeah, good. He's going to eat a few brewskis. Very nice.
And it's actually going to be his. We texted back and forth. He said it's his 3rd anniversary for the channel. Actually,
wow, 3 years.
So it's more of an occasion than we realized. So
that's cool. Nice, man. Yeah. Big day. Ready to celebrate. Do you have anything going on pretty special? I know you're gonna.
No, thank you for asking, because I wanted to mention how next Tuesday is going to be a little more epic as well, because I've been holding out on my Godfather 3 impromptu view, fireside chat video that's been in editing for, 2 months essentially. And I've been holding it to at the same time release it when you talk about Godfather 3. So that's what's going to happen.
That'll be cool.
So that's going to be a big day for Godfather 3, and I'm excited because not a lot of people are expecting what I was going to say. And even Ben, before a little behind the scenes thing, he didn't realize he was putting down a boundary before we started recording the day that we sat down to talk about the movie. He was like, if you're going to do what I think you're going to do, man, I don't know if I want to do this. Yeah. So I'm being vague on purpose, but you'll find out next Tuesday. All right.
All right.
So leave it at that. Tuesday, pay attention to pay attention. Keep an eye out on the channel. You know what to do for the rest.
Cool, man. Good. Yeah, we've been waiting on that one, man. We're watching this because of you. I'd rather not watch Godfather 3, but out of respect for you, Kyle, we're watching it.
Well, I appreciate
Just so you
it.
know,
I agree
we've been
that.
thinking
You
about
know,
It'll be
you.
an interesting conversation
said.
with you guys.
Just because we wanted to end on a high note, but maybe
Well,
we'll like
it's also incomplete. I didn't say for you to start the Godfather movies on your own. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Here, real quick, before we bounce, Proctophile mentioned something. I'm going to be joining Proctophile on his channel this Sunday. I don't know.
Ooh.
Hopefully that'll be later in the evening, Proctophile, because
Ooh.
Saturday I'm going to be in Chicago at a pro boxing event. So I'm definitely still down to do it this Sunday, just maybe a later time. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be posting that when that happens. Happy to support a friend, Proctophile. That'll be fun. And yeah, at the end of the day, thank you all for joining us here today. We had a great time talking to you and talking about all these movies, mostly junk. But you know, a couple winners. Eddington should be at the top. Sorry, guys, it's not at the top. Well, we just gotta live with it. But yeah, we appreciate you guys, and